Hello, everyone, and welcome to SHITE, episode 6. It's Christmas, or 2 weeks away while we're recording this. It's me, Andy Ogden, and joining us today, it's the Heartbreak Kid, Matty Edwards. You all right?
The Heartbreak Kid, I mean, I'm shocked that where's that come from? I mean, I know it's Christmas and the festive season, but it's a bit low calling me old Hickenbottom. What's going on there?
Well, we are going to talk about two of the worst bookers in wrestling history.
Okay.
Aren't we? So.
But yeah, I thought it was the wrong podcast there with obviously Michael being so Shawn and you're thinking I'm Benno here, you know what I mean? This isn't in your house, Andy. This isn't in your house, no.
And joining us, Matty mentioned his name there, it's Hunter Hurst Hamflett himself. Michael Hamflett from Watford.
That could stick.
It better not. Like, do you know what? I feel like this is I now, like, I know Matty's one of the Bretro boys, but I feel like I'm the one that knows what it's like to be screwed at this time of year because it's Celebrity Gladiators. It's a 2002 pay-per-view and it's been given a Triple H nickname. Like, it doesn't get any. I thought, Andy, I'll be honest, I thought you would switch that around because, like, obviously, as Matty points out, like myself and Benno were big Shawn guys on the In Your House one. Matty has obviously dedicated his entire look to latter era Triple H. I thought, like,
that might fucking stick as well, though.
Are we all collectively then? Are we like three podcasters of hell? Like, is that going to be? and most people would agree that this is going to go too long.
Wait, does that mean you're Ric Flair, Andy? That's what that is, man.
Alcoholic, John Gray, yeah. Past his best. Yeah.
Crack and waker, though. That's what we'll say.
Okay. Yeah, the best, quietly, the one that's carrying the whole load. Quite to be honest, like that.
Yes. Jesus.
Oh Christ!
Oh,
so what we're going to talk about today is WWF Armageddon 2002, coming in at 2 hours and 48 minutes from the Office Depot Center in Sunrise, Florida. 9,000 in attendance, a buy rate of 335,000. Quite decent, that one.
Not too bad for the era.
It was also screened on Sky Box Office. But before we get into the wrestling, as ever on this show, we find out what were the songs of the time. So the UK #1 single. So it's getting near Christmas. What do you think was #1 in
what was the
December 2002?
We're before X Factor, aren't we? So that run hasn't gone yet. Chris was #1.
Matthew, I think
I know where you're going, and I'm going.
You know, yeah. This is we're about to hit the invasion died in 2001, but the real war between the two companies was still taking place, wasn't it? Wasn't this like the Girls Allowed One True Voice year?
Yes, it is 2002. Short that day where Chris was #1, the girls weren't they? Definitely in 2002.
Oh, well, that'd make this 2
weeks
this
before.
Is too early, then, isn't it? Yeah,
it could be anything. Then who's out at the time? Eminem's knocking about. I'd say Eminem or Nelly.
Christina Aguilera, maybe.
Right, you're way off the mark here. If I said the words, it's a sad, sad situation.
Blue and Elton John, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry seems to be the hardest word. Yes.
Yeah.
#2 at the time was Transylvania's favourite pair of twins. It was Touch My Bum by the Cheeky Girls.
God.
Michael, I know you're a fan of pop and that. You didn't go that low to the Cheeky Girls, did you, mate?
Nah. Like, this is like sort of like barrel scraping pop, this, isn't it? Like the machine has started to like eat itself when like the Cheeky Girls and the ketchup song and stuff like that. It's like watching like Russo's early TNA. It's the stuff he couldn't get off the ground in WCW, and now he's got this new little playground to do it in. All that WWA, that's what this is.
Yes.
Like,
Me and you know so well about that WWA.
Grim, absolute grim. But Cheeky Girls, yeah, but as you say, bottom stuff, just never. But I bet you if you looked up, they've had about 5 number ones. Like, honestly, you would be. It wouldn't surprise me if they had like so many hits. Like, and you're like, for fuck's sake, who's buying this? Who is?
Well, probably one person who was buying it was one of their boyfriends, Lembit Olpick, who was
MP really.
MP,
yeah. What a
and
stunt.
you looked at him and it's like, how's he with one of the cheeky girls? But must have the charm. UK number 1 album now.
So hang on then, if this was the year after, was like a Will Young and Gareth Gaten with a shot at a number 1 album? Because it would have been the year before that they were on Pop Idol.
I'll go Robbie, because he's Christmas. He brought like the swing when you're winning and all that out at Christmas. I'll go Robbie Williams.
You're going Robbie. Michael, any thoughts?
I'll take a punt at Will Young.
Matty's correct here. It was Robbie Williams' Escapology.
Yeah. That Bublé took over, didn't he? Before it became stale and phoned in. You had like Cliff Richard, Daniel O'Donnell all come out at Christmas. Robbie done that for a bit. He did. He knew what he was doing. That's why he's one of the biggest. So yeah.
Yeah, some of the big tunes on that album were Feel.
Big tune.
Come Undone, which is
Supreme as well. Supreme on that.
Supreme with the one before.
Was it?
That. Yeah. Monsoon as well was a tune.
Gino. Big Gino there.
Which I have to say, when Robbie does perform it live, it's a cracking sing-along.
Never seen him live, Don't think you have, because the crowd sing it, don't they? And I'm a big Robbie fan, do you know what I mean? I do like Robbie, but does he sing anymore? Did he ever sing? You know what I mean? Sorry, can I just go off on one a little bit? Like, on Robbie, and I'm a big fan, Michael, like, I love his best of. But, like, you, when I say this, we might have talked about this before. If not, you'll just come with a wrestling analogy straight away, right? Yeah. Just flicking through YouTube last night, just, lead you one thing to the next, doesn't it? And you remember, like, he actually rejoined Take That, didn't he? Like, officially joined them. So what's that, like, someone who had the biggest solo run, went back to a stable, took the heat, and then went off again?
Well, I reckon, right? Do you know what? It's funny, when Andy was mentioning the stuff on Escapology, I was thinking, right, to be honest, for me, this is like Robbie's God era Shawn Michaels run. Like, it's good, but it's not as good as as Pills Shawn, like the real
Pills
like
Robbie.
night. Yeah, like life through a lens Pills Robbie is Pills Shawn. Then you get this more like sort of, it's good, it's got its moments, but it's not quite as good as like Hairs on Your Chest, jacked Shawn, 96 Shawn. And I would say when he rejoins Take That, that's like Shawn taking the Saudi payday and getting back to the X. Like, that's because to Take That out of like for years, Robbie would have been like, I'm not going back to Take That. I'm not going back to Take That. And Shawn would have been like, I'm never coming out of retirement. And then all of a sudden, like, the money was right. And he was like, actually, I'll have a bit of that. Because if you think about it as well, Shawn Michaels, like, coming out in that bloody, when he was like just dressed like Skinner and being a guest referee at WrestleMania, that's like Robbie doing Rude Box, isn't it? It's like, are you all right, mate? Like, that's sort of...
I knew you'd have one. Brilliant.
So basically Jonathan Wilkes is Triple H, the bad guy.
Yes!
That's the worst insult anyone's ever thrown at Triple H. Millions.
Robbie Williams' dad is Ric Flair.
Oh my God. Triple H's is Jonathan Wilkes. That is unbelievable. Just like... And you know how like Triple H was the one that like in Montreal, he was like, well, fuck him, let's just screw him. Do you think like back in like 95, 96, Jonathan Wilkes is like in Robbie's ear, Take That, fuck Gary Barlow. Like, leave Barlow. And Brett and Gary Barlow, the workers. Like, you've got like, it's like not like Jim Neidhart and Bulldog. That's a bit like, because Owen is Mark Owen Hart, right? Yeah. Jim Neidhart and British Bulldog, Jason Orange and Howard Donald. We've blown this wide up.
Oh no, I'll be heads banging, profit. Oh. Fucking hell,
oh
mate.
Christ! I was going to say when he did rejoin Take That, I was at the one of the return concerts with when Robbie come back. We take that, and Robbie was the support act.
Was he?
Was he?
Yeah. And so he did all his set, 40 minutes. So let me entertain you, and then he went off for probably about 5-10 minutes of the take that set, and then it just became all about Robbie more than
Shawn Michaels. There you go. Typical.
Yeah, there it is, man.
Oh, Christ. It's bad we have to actually talk about wrestling now.
Andy, there's a bit of non-wrestling on this which we can talk about as well, mate, you know what I mean?
Oh, there is.
Andy,
yeah.
Can I check what what did you say the runtime was for this?
2 hours 48.
What about the mid card?
That is a good point.
Yeah. So before this show was actually Survivor Series. This is around the time Survivor Series 2002, which I think you reviewed on GRAPPL. That was the one with Shawn Michaels winning. He's winning the title in his brown kecks.
Yeah, infamous.
Is it the Scott Steiner debuting as well?
Yeah, give me the fucking mic. Yeah,
give me the fucking mic. Is it the one as well with Rico shouting for Jeff Hardy? Jeff!
It's like you shouting your Jeff in it. But yeah, no, because I think it's on Netflix. It's been edited out that both obviously Steiner and Rico's Jeff Hardy not being there on time, which is a shame. But the streets won't forget that, Michael. The proper airing of it, will they?
It's classic, man. I remember when I really enjoyed your review of it on GRAPPL, and I think it might have been we were messaging after it or something. But I remember the response online at the time. It was as if it was as if they'd strapped up like Thez and Gotch by giving the belts back to Big Show and Shawn on the same night in the Garden, because like they were like your WCW and WWF world champions in '96, and all of a sudden like think about that, like that's 96 to 2002, like that's like what, 6 years? That'd be like a 2019 wrestler winning a world title. That's like Seth Rollins just winning another world title. Yeah, you think nothing of it, would you? But Shawn and Shaw winning the belts was seen as this what are you doing? You're strapping up the fossils and all this sort of stuff. You know, it was like it was such a big reaction to daring to go with like older names over Brock and over like I think like Booker and RVD with the big Matty IWC faves in the chamber, weren't they, and stuff. And it's like I remember that, like a bit of an uproar about that.
Well, I was going to save it for later on, my comparison, and I think I'm in a safe enough space to say this one, especially around you, Michael, and yourself, Andy, of course. You might enjoy this one. Yeah. But you know what I thought with Big Show being this transitional champion? I thought, that's just Samoa Joe now in AEW. He's the Big Show. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. And people won't like that. Strong. People will not like that shout, but he is the modern day Big Show of that, of like, give it to someone who's reliable, who you see can do a job, and plug it onto the next page. This is exactly what this run is. What Big Show, like you say, Andy, winning this title. Same with Shawn Michaels in a way as well, you know, because he only has it. Well, spoiler alert.
So he's basically Sam Allardyce or Sean Dyche till Christmas.
Yes. That...
Wait a minute then. So are we saying that like?
Who's Will Abdu Shibata? Who's Hulk?
I was going to say, I'm just the obvious Shawn comparison. Then, if we're doing like two belts, two champions, that's Punk, then, isn't it? So like Punk and Joe as like champions in 2025 is like is Ring of Honor, Shawn and Big Show, basically. That's what that is. It's like give it them two till the end of the season.
Unreal. It's incredible.
Andy, I love that, man. Sam Allardyce, he only had 5 minutes for Sunderland, but he was beloved. And if you remember, he left because he got offered the England job.
Yeah. And then he got sacked, didn't he, because of the fake shake.
One game and his pint of wine, and that was it. And we got relegated, you know. But it's just got me thinking now. I'd happily welcome him back, and they should get like it's the Big Sam, and they could have that as his like.
Oh,
unreal.
So the theme tune to Armageddon 2002 is a classic in it of fake Jim Morrison or Jim Johnston in it singing on the track. It
might as well be Jim Morrison.
The end is here. Memories of this tune, Michael?
I mean, it's one of them ones, right, where it's sort of the thing I pretend I don't like it, but then I get so fired up, like the more I listen to it for these specific shows. I think why I don't like it is because so often it's associated with a crap show, because there was a lot of rubbish Armageddons, and December historically was a bad time for like Fed pay-per-views. But then watching this, it works. It's a very effective song in the sense that, like, by the time you're kind of 3/4 of the way through a video package that it's set to, you're like, oh, actually, I want a bit of this. And I think it's a victory for like their production. That you see a video package, same way they can polish up any feud with a video, isn't it? Like this song's that it fits like watching two people hitting each other so well that by the end it's irresistible.
Yeah, I'm the same. It's like, which once again jumping ahead here, but you know, I've seen this Shawn Michaels Triple H match for me sins like at least half a dozen times. But watching that video package at the start was like, I want to watch this now. I was like, I can't wait for this. Genuinely was like, it's one of the best, as Michael said, songs to a video package you'll ever get. And it just gets better as it goes on. What a good video package song. And it ends at the right time. Unbelievable. Yeah, one of the best for me.
And they always have the facial depiction of war, which is Freddie Blassie. Every time, sat in his chair.
He turns up at a few manias, the legal video packages. He was getting the old money's worth out of it. Don't mention him when Benno was on, though, because we'll be here all night. He'd say, you shit. That's all he'll say. Not even think about it, just say you shit, really.
They weren't those Fed managers, those like, I think we can all agree, can't we? Like late 70s, early 80s, like until they drop that third W, like it's a rough old show that, like, you know, like the managers and the heels are absolutely shit. And you've got smiling Bob Backlund on top, like palming them all away. And it's just, bleak stuff, bleak.
Oh, great stuff. I love it. Go on.
So our commentary team on this show are Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler, as ever. Well, they're on the Raw side, and obviously you get Michael Cole and it's Taz as is his partner. Match number 1, starting the show, is a fatal 4-way elimination tag team match with the Dudleys taking on, were they the Un-Americans at the time? Landstorm and Regal.
I think they come out of that, haven't they? They were in them, and then they span off into the tag team.
They were punished, weren't they? Because they were all scared of the heat. So they were like split up and put into like little separate roles because none of them liked the kind of heat they were getting for the upside down flag and stuff.
Yeah.
Also in this match were Booker T and Goldust, who was a popular act at the time, and your tag team champions of Chris Jericho and Christian. We'll go first to Michael on this one.
What, just in terms of the match overall?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a bit mixed on it, to be honest, because like I remember feeling like at this time I was trying to like watch this match now, but then also like reconcile my feelings from the time. And I remember thinking it was like too little too late by the time they put the belt on Booker T and Goldust. There was a proper movement around them when they first got together. And you remember like Booker T was trying to make it work in the NWO, and Goldust was trying to lure him to stay a babyface, basically, stay a good guy. And Booker was so over, as hot as he ever was in that summer of 2002. And then for whatever reason, they didn't go with them. And by the time you get it here, it's nice, but I would argue that like, and you know, it was basically an acknowledgement that the two singles runs had failed. But I would argue that the Dudleys, because people were just glad to have them back, were probably more over as baby faces. So it was weird to me to see the Dudleys come back and then get like taken out straight away, and this be the time. It's very, very 2002 WWE, like a lot of disparate parts and near misses and things like that. And it's like, oh, you could have pushed them, but you didn't. Or, you know, like it was kind of story of Triple H on top of Raw, really, wasn't it? Like push this wrestler now. No, I'm not going to push him now. And then you kind of lose the momentum. And the big note I've got on the match was like, there was such a cool, when there was a 4 of them, there was such a cool spot, but it was ruined by the botch. Like there was like a blind tag spot where Christian blind tagged Regal, and he kind of looked a bit confused. And then Regal later on blind tagged Christian to get back in. Christian gets 3D'd. And it's also like Regal can pin Bubba with a handful of tights, but Regal's so overzealous with the pin that they kind of roll over together. And
yeah.
But it would have been such a clever Christian Regal type thing where it's like, oh, shall I show you what a blind tag is so that you can use one yourself? And I thought there was like a bit of actual intelligent work going on, but it got completely ruined by that botch. And then basically, it's not really a 4-way then, is it? It's just a straight tag title match.
Yeah, I want to go back to what he said there about Booker T and Goldust, because not just Booker T, but them as a duo, like Andy said, they were like molten hot. And SummerSlam, isn't it, where they faced the Young Americans, and they should have went up there, but they went for the heat instead. Didn't think Test joins in there maybe, or someone helped them win, anybody do shenanigans. And I think that's just like, you could have went with them there, but I say they went with the heat. But you're right, this is, even watching it was like, this should be the Dudleys winning this. All right, it's the Dudleys, we've seen it, done it before, but at least they got back together the month before at Survivor Series. But I actually, when it got to the tag match, I actually liked it. I thought Booker T and Jericho don't historically have like any even big pay-per-view matches in WWE, Michael. I thought they had good chemistry with the reversals, the counters. I know that's typical Jericho, but I feel him and Booker T worked a lot of things out well. And all right, it is Booker T and Goldust going over too little too late, but yeah, I enjoyed the end bit. I did enjoy like the straight up tag match, but was a big fan of Jericho and Christian as a tag team as well at this time. Loved them. Probably the biggest I've ever been into Jericho was like 2002-3. And,
was that the storyline where they got Trish Stratus involved and a
year and a half later wrestled?
Kind
of like tag team / friends, aren't they? Throughout all 2003, and then get up to that point where they split up. So it's they ain't the Crush by the time Mania 20 come round. Like.
I did a bit of bonus time stuff here because I was thinking, obviously, when Coach interviews them at the end and they're like, Jerry Lawler's been calling Booker T, Goldust a weak link, and how Booker T's got to carry the team, and like Coach kind of gets in their face a bit, and Booker's like, no, a lot of people like you, Coach, said that we didn't have a chance, and you thought Goldust was the weak link, but I knew he wasn't the weak link, and they're very much presenting it like Booker T's like wheeled Goldust out of an old folks home to tag with him, isn't he? Like, and it's, so I thought, right, I'm gonna have a look at this. Right. So Goldust was 33, right? Which, he's in the paint. That's like Sting, isn't it? That disguises a few things, right? But check this out. He wins the WWE tag belts with Cody 11 years after this, right? And he wins the 6-man and tag belts in Ring of Honor 11 years after that. Like 11-year gaps, 2002 to 2013, 2013 to 2024, and Goldust is still like the old man winning tag belts.
It's like, very much like Tottenham Hotspur winning a cup with a 1 in the year. See, 11 years.
Crazy.
Nuts, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I was of a similar thing as Matty. The latter portion of the match was much better than. Well, the early part where there was that fuck up with the pins and like no one knew what was going on.
Usually I'm not a big fan of like comedy / like tribute spot, but I did like the Goldust and Bubba double dusty elbows. I did enjoy that. I could see it coming a mile off. I always forget Bubba done that a lot at the time. And what I loved though, Jane, at the start as well, it weren't even part of the match. I love the way, like, once again, Michael, I'll always throw in that people obviously, and we've all said it, maybe not me, like WWE was terrible for 20 years. I won't ever say the word shit, but it's little stuff like this which it'll just always get me back. I'm like, it was nonsensical, it didn't make sense, this, that, and the other. I just loved JR's little sports call on the way to the ring of like, Regal and Storm had 7 wins on Monday Night Raw. I love that. Like, I genuinely stuck out to me. That did, stuff like that. Like, I know it's only a one-off, but I'll always keep saying these one-offs until I build my case, Michael, in about 10 years' time.
I think what that highlighted to me was that like WWE invented AEW's ranking system.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's the
Tony Khan was watching this pay-per-view going, I'll use that one day when I own my own company.
And to be honest as well, it's only about 4 months away, and then Booker T's doing the honours for Big Nose in the main event of Mania.
Yeah. And as a great man once said, Gareth Hodgson, that Triple H should have won. So I'll always say that. So
Jesus Christ.
He's more over, he said. And same with Steiner, same with all these Nash, same with Goldberg, all these XW stuff. He says he was over to them all, so he should have won.
I think that's more disgraceful than my Terry Funk take. That one. That's
what Terry Funk one's that, Michael?
I'll save it for a different podcast. Solid hand. Solid ass wrestler.
Yeah.
So we go to Taz and Michael Cole, who are on SmackDown commentary, and in the back you have Brock Lesnar basically saying to Josh Matthews, "Who the fuck are you?"
that was what it was, literally, wasn't it? He was tough enough. Was he tough enough?
He was, yeah.
First one. Yeah, I need to go back and watch that. I've got that here on proper physical. Like, I need to watch that properly now with an older head. I think I'll enjoy it more now.
I loved it. I watched it a few years back. I think it was tucked away on the network maybe before the move over. I think so. Yeah. I'm sure they put up like the first 3 seasons maybe, and the first season in particular really holds up because there's like quite a few. I'm sure ODB's one of the people auditioning, and you see a few faces in the big lines of the people auditioning that ended up getting somewhere, you know. But we take the piss obviously on our podcast all the time. It's just the poor trainees can't win. Like, they'll say something to like one of the guest wrestlers, Triple H or Steve Austin or The Undertaker or whatever, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, like, do you think this is hard work?" And they'll be like, "Yes, I do, sir." "Oh, so you think you could just do it, could you?" "Well, what do you want me to fucking say?" Like, they're just out to like Taz plays this like bully coach and all this sort of stuff, and it's a brilliant watch. But like, I'm amazed that like Maven lasted as long as he did in the system, because the second he walked through the door, your buddy Bradshaws and your Benoit's being like, "Oh, came in off the telly, did you?" Like, they're just the absolute disgust they would have had from. Just horrendous, man.
Match number 2 now. We have Edge coming out to his Rob Zombie theme, belter of the theme, that one. Taking on old 8 3/8. Albert, A-Train.
No, listen here. Can I just jump in here? Like, I know this might sound so obvious, lads, but once again, I love I always say, I've done these 1,000,000 times, but I just love keep saying to me new line, watching it with this older head and taking different ways. You take like, and what's like his name was A-Train, Michael.
A-Train.
No, listen, A-Train. That was that didn't leave me mind all the match. I was thinking, that's like a car, A-Train. It fucking stuck. My head was gone. I was like, fucking hell.
Matty, I feel bad saying this, right, because I've already cursed you with Triple H. But I was thinking to myself, for one Halloween, if you wanted to stick on some little silver piercings, the 3 of them in the chin.
Don't you worry. I've got the back, the chest, a lot to go with this. Don't you worry about that. You both would have been quite active online when this A-Train push happened out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
People were fucking fuming with this, weren't they? Like, it was this idea that, like, I think there would have been like Benoit and Angle and Eddie Guerrero and like all these like SmackDown bubbling under upper mid-carders, and then it was just this idea that like A-Train had pulled the rug out from all of them, and it like he was the one that like injured Rey Mysterio, wasn't he? So it's like, yeah, they've given it to fucking Albert. It was like people were, and like with good reason, this match was terrible, but like the people were livid with like A-Train getting this run, weren't they? But
then, Michael, once again, if we want to fast forward 10, 11 years later, he was the IWC favourite, weren't he? When he was in New Japan, and he come back to go on the set European as well.
Sorry, Andy. I always feel like come on, and I use this to get get on my soapbox. I want to.
It's great.
Bernard can fucking do one, right? Because I should have been watching. I didn't get into New Japan until 2016, right? Because Power Slam, way back when Tanahashi was like proper peaking, you know, early 2010, 2011. And I'm reading in Power Slam, oh, Albert's good now. I'm reading on the forums that like, oh, you got to see fucking Bernard or whatever. So I go and try and check him out, and he's still shit. And that's well, it's all a lie. Anything I'm hearing about Tanahashi must be a lie, because if they're telling me that this guy's good and he's still terrible, I just switched it right back off. Like it took me until Kenny in 2016 before I properly watched and tuned in. One big lie. Like him and fucking Carl Anderson on one good G1, and all of a sudden he's supposed to be some sort of work rate god. Like, at least Gallows admits who he is. Like,
yes, definitely
shite. Absolutely. There's a shite I'll do. Let's do a giant Bernard like New Japan mixtape, and somebody can recommend us an actual good match.
Couple of things about A-Train or A-Train. I train. One of my memories is as a SmackDown house show at the MEN Arena where a train was facing Chris Benoit in the opener, and the fire alarm went off, and no one moved, but me and Jeff left our seats. Like, oh, we have to go now, don't we? And it's like, well, you know where you're getting back in. So yeah, a fire alarm went off during Elite Train and Chris Benoit. I know you've ran through a couple of the gimmicks already, but I wanted to ask, what's your favourite incarnation of Coach Bloom? Is it Prince Albert, Hip Hop Hippo, a train, Giant Bernard, or Lord Tensai?
You're forgetting one. You're forgetting one after that. What was his name in when he was with Brodus Clay?
Ah.
Oh, Hip Hop Hippo, I said.
No, wasn't he? That was when he. What was the one with
Scotty, wasn't it?
There's one with Brodus Clay.
Yeah.
What's his name? I'm gonna have to get that up.
Because he was just. They took the Lord away, didn't they? So he was just Tensai for a bit.
Yeah.
But he did have a nickname. What was it?
So he lost all his titles like Prince Andrew.
No, I think his name, because they had that Barn Burner feud before they were a tag team, didn't they, Michael?
God.
That's what they had. So no, they were tons of funk, and yeah, it was just Tensai, Brodus Clay, and the Funk Cadactyls, but yeah, tons of funk.
Tons of funk. Well, what was your favourite incarnation then, Matty?
I liked them, to be honest. The most I ever got into them was obviously TNA, but that's for other reasons. Yeah. And then we go into X Factor. He was actually like focused as the main man in there, wasn't he? Really, in that Dudley's feud, and they had that IWC match with Kane where he won the belt in the garden. Michael, did he? He won in the garden.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
That Hurricane Rana by Kane and stuff like that.
Very much the spiritual sequel in Madison Square Garden to Bret and Perfect from SummerSlam 91, that one.
But we'll always have Kane having his 01 epics with the TNA members. KV Test and KV Albert, put them up there, mate. But that's probably his best run from TNA to X Factor that year, maybe, I'd say.
I love, when he was just Albert TNA. Like, TNA 1MX, you know, when you're putting over like the Chris Kresge run in 2000, it's like, fuck me, everybody's over here. You have thought so hard about your entire, like, think about the stuff they did with like the Hardys and Lita, and like how that was like, you could justify opening pay-per-views with it, the Dudleys, and how long they teased out Trish going through the table, and like they were proper good heaters for her. It was an act that like people bought it, you know. I know like the WrestleMania, and it's a bad card, and that match with like Head Cheese and Chester McCheaterton gets like shit on because it was rubbish, but the acts were so over on TV, you could see why they were thinking, oh, we need to figure them in. It was like, I thought it was a good bit of business, that, like, considering that like Triple H had absolutely murdered Test, like it was a bit of a recovery job for him as well. But
I always think as well, like even the TNAPA, was it Protection Agency, when the
the
APA, but
took the office.
I love that, and I like the fact of, and this is me without any like romance or wedding angles, big soap. I like the way, as you say, they were like, she was the manager for them, but it was never teased that they were like together, or no, you know, she was straight up manager with these two big bastards. Like, so TNA good, underrated act, definitely.
Yeah, good music.
Unbelievable music. Unbelievable. Is that on Uncaged, Michael? That's gotta be on.
I bet it will be. I'm gonna be digging through the Uncaged.
They were also a perennial act on Sunday Night Heat, so
yes,
would have been popular with a lot of people in the UK. Them and S.A. Rios at the time.
S.A. Rios over, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into this match. The first part of the match I noticed was Edge hit like the Edge-o-matic, goes for a pin from the front. When he nearly see A-Train's cock and discuss.
I mean, I fortunately missed that, so I'm all right. But what I didn't miss was the bicycle kick out of midair, which it didn't look amazing, don't get me wrong, but I liked it in its, like, you know, imperfection, that it looked like the emphasis. Because like, I mean, there's another match I'll talk in a minute, which I'll be glowing on, but this isn't. But I did appreciate that, and obviously you get a few kickouts, don't you? You get the kicking out of each other's finisher. So they had a go, but there's nothing to it, really, if we're being honest, Michael. There's nothing to this match. And the finish. And I'm usually not one to go all in on DQ finishes, but yeah, didn't like this.
Mine, Edge got a bit Dwayne Johnson with that steel chair, didn't he? Like no holding back on 8 3/8 head.
Like that head, is it?
Nah. The thing about A-Train is it's sort of I like to think I'm pretty patient with like quote unquote bad wrestlers. Like I'll you know, like we're all sitting here having like viewed the Jey Uso push and seen the highs and lows of it and stuff. I got a lot of patience for wrestlers that can only do certain things well. But I always in every incarnation found Albert to have nothing that he was like a 10 out of 10 on. Like Albert hasn't got like a yeet to save his life. And I'm like that. I'm not saying that as a piss take. Like Jey Uso, if nothing else, has got a 10 out of 10 in one category. Like Albert's a 6 on his best day in any category. And a lot of the time it's a 4, and he's got that weird quirk that he always screams like Lex Luger, whether he's selling or attacking. And once you notice that, you can't switch it off. You look like, I know like all the wrestlers would say, because he's a coach, obviously, he must have been like really smooth to work with. But as a fan, there's just nothing to watch, is there? There's no, I don't know. The bicycle kick is the one note I've got about what's interesting to look at. Otherwise, he's got nothing to offer.
You a fan, Andy?
I think he's serviceable.
Yeah.
He's got what has he got? A big chest and loads of hair and piercings. What more do you need? I always say when he was in his like his leather singlet back in the day, I think of Testing Albert era, he must have sweated like fuck under them lights, eh? If he not washed his gear for a few days, you know about it.
Do you remember Key, Michael?
Yeah.
That was pure shotgun stuff, wasn't it? Who was that? Was that Vic Grimes? It was, wasn't it? I think it was Vic Grimes. Yeah.
Vic
and that
Grimes.
Was short run. His finisher, I can't remember what it was, the key cutter or something. It was unbelievable finisher. Like it was fucking boss. Pure metal and shotgun times.
Was it Vic Grimes?
Vic Grimes.
Vic Grimes was he a Power Slam favorite, wasn't he? Like every month in the news, there'd always be like, WWE are still excited for the Vic Grimes debut, and you'd be like, right, let's go, and then it never materialised into much that you could actually do with on proper telly, could it?
He was sort of dressed in all white, weren't he?
Yeah, he had like bleach, like white, yellow hair, didn't he? Key,
Key.
Yeah.
I didn't get the reference at the time either, so I was just like, all right, yeah, fine, that's Key. Key's here.
A-Train, Key, the big show. When you break that down, what is that, Michael? What's the big show? What is it?
Do you remember when he was the Big Nasty?
Yeah.
Started him as the Big Nasty, didn't they?
It's brilliant. It's the greatest form of anything in the world, mate. I love it.
Vince McMahon signed the Giant and didn't have a fucking name for him. That's amazing, that, isn't it? What are we going to call him? I don't know, Paul? Right there.
Shall we get into match number 3 now between two wrestlers who I don't think had a great match against each other? It's Eddie Guerrero versus Chris Benoit, and early doors this match gets treated with the boring chants for all the fondling and technical work on the deck, Michael.
I'm glad that you've I'm glad that you've set me up like that, Andy, and B, I'm glad you've let me speak before Matty, because I can sense that we might be getting a difference of opinion here. But I was watching this thinking, right, this is really boring. I've got World of Sport in my notes, so you've already cracked the ball tickling. I don't think, right, and I understand that like the execution of everything is really strong. Like, of course they're laying it in. Of course it looks legit. But like, so what? So what that it looks realistic? Like, half of it is just because it's actually real. Like, I'm gonna Brett this one. I'm not gonna give him plaudits for hitting hard because it's a work. It's a fucking work, you know. Like they're laying it in to try and pull a reaction out of this dead crowd, and that's one way of doing it, I suppose. But that just tells me that like that was their autopilot setting. It's as if they didn't have a more interesting dynamic that they could go to tell a different story from the one that they'd set out to tell. And the first one wasn't working, and they didn't really have a plan B other than hit each other really hard. Like Taz, after the fact, called it like a classic and said, "Oh, this was big time pro wrestling." And I'm thinking, was it? Like, I feel like you're lying to me there, rather than, because you've probably made that note in your pad before they've even got in the ring. you're so certain that Benoit and Guerrero are going to do that, like those wrestlers, they do this in their sleep, that kind of thing. You can say that safe in the knowledge that it's going to be this classic. But to be honest, like I'm a bit of a low guy on Eddie Guerrero. I don't really watch a lot of Chris Benoit back. I'm one of them people that can't really watch much of it. They're not. Neither of them are Kurt Angle. Like in terms of being able to like extract something extra from an audience. I know that Kurt Angle's like not the ball knowers' favorites because sometimes he does too much, but like I think he understood when there was a time to do a bit more and go through the gears. And Guerrero got there, I think. I mean, Chavo was there. He's stealing and living as always, but like, just like
I'll speak on it.
I seem to recall they had a WCW match, these two, that I really enjoyed. But I'm with you, Andy. I always think this is what like a good wrestling match is supposed to look like without ever really feeling like a good wrestling match. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I wasn't. You know, my energy level never. If you'd have put one of them heart rate monitors on me, it never would have like spiked or anything. Yeah. Like I can think it's good without feeling that it's anything entertaining.
I still have in back of my head about like the one night stand match, which was
Eddie lost his mind,
tantrum, wasn't he?
Yeah. They both showed their ass in that match. I seem to remember.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna flip the coin there, Michael. This was the match that, like I said earlier on, we might have different thoughts, and you're right. I mean, and Andy's right. You can't deny they did get boring chance, but I'll go on record here and say I don't think the fans deserve this match, Michael. I think honestly, no, seriously, it was like, and maybe once again speaking to Gareth a lot, or just lift. Obviously, I'll never change my ways completely, but I can obviously understand. And you're right, maybe they were laying in a bit too much, but I thought this was great. And even near to the end, like I loved the way it picked up because it was pure map based at the start. You had every submission under the sun, short arm scissors, everything you can think of. Eddie went for it, Benoit. But then once they started training the Germans, and then obviously Chavo he done his best to try and ruin it for me, Michael, but at least he got out of there pretty much quick. But even like when Benoit hits the powerbomb, the headbutt, it picks up a bit. And I love the finish of like the crossface, but then it's switching it over to the other side and then rolling through. Yeah, I love that. And maybe it is. And I'm one of them, you know, obviously no one's right, wrong in this. I'm probably more on your side with Benoit, of course, Michael. But I when I watch him, he's just so good in there. Like it is. And he's doing basic stuff, but it's just the heavy hitting. It's just everything with him. And Eddie, you know, I mean, I love Eddie, and I'll always argue with Benno about Eddie Guerrero. Eddie's just one of the best all-rounders for me. Obviously, Benoit never got there on the mic and character and such, but I agree to a degree. But actually, honest to God, when Eddie come out here, because I remembered most of this card, and I was like, who's Eddie on with here? And I couldn't fit. I completely forgot this match existed, genuinely, because I go to Vengeance 2003, the final of the US title tournament.
I like that one more than this.
That's more shenanigans in it, with Eddie doing his light cheating and stealing, Rhino getting involved. So there's a bit more sports entertainment to it, and it is. I remember that being a good opening as well for what it was, but I did, honestly. I was proper engrossed by this. And it makes me want to see like more like, you know, go to Japan stuff, Michael, and turn into one of them guys. I enjoy it.
You know, like you sort of have various matches what you know you've watched at least once and the stuff that you've grown up watching. And so as a result, you remember yourself in this period of time. Because I remember that Benoit was going to get Kurt Angle at the Royal Rumble. And then there was a lot of talk about if Angle's neck wasn't good enough for WrestleMania, they were going to flip the title to Brock and do Brock and Benoit. And that's why, if you remember, that's why Benoit's in that random tag with Rhino, because he was kind of on standby for the title match, wasn't he? For WrestleMania 19. And I think as a result, I can reflect, this would have been me at my absolute, to use your terminology, Matty, this would have been me at my most IWC in terms of my tastes. Yeah. And I look back now and I sort of feel like I was trying too hard. You know, that like period in your life musically where you try and deny that you like pop music, or maybe you didn't experience this, but that thing where like you start like shunning it a little bit because you sort of, now I'm into this and I'm just into this. This was me like at the height of my like push the little guys like sentiment, you know? Yeah. And I look at it now and I sort of watch it through a different lens and I think, these are probably exactly where they should be, and not a little bit higher. Like I can value elements of the work, but I can think like Eddie Guerrero's not ready to be a WWE champion here. Chris Benoit, I think you could argue, was never ready to be a WWE champion. I just like I loved Benoit in very, very late babyface WCW. He got like the bit between his teeth because he had that wrestler motivation of, you know how like wrestlers love getting told no, and it seems to make them like fight even harder to get the spot and earn their respect and stuff. Benoit really had it at various points, but just here, I think he's pretty flavorless. I think it's like an Eddie as well. Remember like 2003 in it when Eddie like goes for he shaves his head.
Yeah.
And he's wearing the grey tights and he's done like it's going into the Tajiri team, and it's Tajiri that unlocks because they turn him heel on Tajiri, but people like him too much, and that's really a bit of a turning point about like he finds something extra that gives him that spark. But I don't know, man. I think if we watch this now, this would just be like, I think we'd slag this off on Dynamite. This would be like a Claudio match or something. I honestly think that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
bit Death Riders-y, this, isn't it? You know?
But similar thoughts there, Mike, because I was never, like you say, IWC push the cruisers ever. I was more into like, you know, like your Test, your Canes, I was all that, always was at that time, especially 2002. But that, honestly, it awoke me like Unforgiven 2002, Benoit Angle. And that's not one of the most remembered ones, because that Royal Rumble 2003, let's not get this twisted. I think I've said that is a 5-star match. That is one of my favorite matches. It's unbelievable, and I won't have a bad word said. Unforgiven 2002 was the first time, even as a 16-year-old, I was like, oh, they're good, them. Do you know what I mean? I understand what I'm reading on the forums. Oh, they're good wrestlers, them. That was a good match compared to like the rest of the show, if you get me. And it was like, oh, that match always stands out for me. Unforgiven 2002. So yeah, but yeah, can't deny what you said. Like argue what you said there, lads, about them not having great chemistry together. Totally.
Yeah. Talking about having great chemistry. Up next, it's what we've all been waiting for.
What a segue!
It's the Al Wilson, Torrie, and Dawn Marie storyline based around Room 357, with Torrie and Dawn getting touchy-feely in a hotel. Well, you have the full 357 video shown. I put half expected Al coming in here, seeing if they wanted the fridge fixed, because it was very much porn level acting. But Kidman was one very lucky fella. Jesus wept. I mean, you smell like what were it? Dawn Marie to Torrie. You smell like strawberries. And when they smooch together, it honestly, Road Warrior pop. For this one.
I mean,
before I get your opinions, I just want to clarify. Did Al Wilson die in the storyline from too much shagging?
He did.
Yeah.
He shagged him to
death.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Matty, what I will say about this story.
You saying, Matty, what I will say is if I'm going to enjoy this, Andy, is that what you're going with it?
Sadly, and this was one of my ideas for this series of shite, was to do this storyline and what they call TH14 on YouTube.
Have you got an actual story of for the Rumble?
They had the story of up there, but then it got taken down for copyright reasons. I was so fucking gutted because I would have. We would have laughed at this, wouldn't we?
And you can confirm this, Michael. It's Torrie's shoot dad, isn't it? It actually is Torrie's dad, Al Wilson. But yeah, it is, isn't it? I mean, where do you want to start, Andy? I mean, where do you want me to start here? I mean, if we're breaking this down as, you know, obviously it's a different time, it's a different
work rate.
It was work rate. It was shock TV. This was the time of all the nonsense of, you know, from Katie Vick to the HLA and all that shite. So it's desperation era. If we're being honest and we're being totally frank about it, it's just throwing whatever to try and get eyeballs, etc. But I will say, if we're watching this as a shit D-movie, fucking seeing you getting a horror or a fucking sleazy 80s, 70s film, I think Dawn Marie deserves a fucking Oscar. I think she nailed this. Honest to God, like, obviously you can see Torrie's uncomfortable, which isn't nice to see in real life, of course. and stuff like that. But Dominique doesn't give a fuck. She's just one of them people that's like, you do this, and she will fucking do. I honestly, I'm not even messing. She was incredible in this, and I don't know if that's like not the highest in praise or whatever, but for a professional, I'm telling you, she was fucking unbelievable, because she must have been uncomfortable, but it didn't show in a performance. And yeah, I mean, that's the biggest takeaway I got from it. Was like, because you can see Torrie's eyes and face, and she's half trying to laugh, and with Dominique, straight face throughout it all, and plays the part well. So if we're judging it on like that, like I said, Dominique deserves 20 Oscars. That's what I'll say.
There was a theory at the time, wasn't there, that like so you mentioned HLA, and that crossed over into the wedding of Billy and Chuck.
Yes.
And then you had another wedding because of...
That was a great
Oh, yeah, brilliant. And then you had a wedding of Dawn and Al, where you could see Al's massive, like, was it a prosthetic cock that had stuck in his pants or something like that?
I forgot about that.
Totally ridiculous. And like this segment here and all this kind of thing. There was a theory, wasn't there, that like this was Paul Heyman basically playing 4D chess with Vince. It was like, if he could produce 2 or 3 segments like this, he'd be allowed to get away with his like SmackDown 6 pro wrestling and Brock and Kurt. And if you look at how much influence on and off screen Paul Heyman had on this specific period of SmackDown, it does kind of stand up as a theory, doesn't it? Because SmackDown was just a show of 2 halves. You either had like total, like almost barely wrestling levels of sports entertainment, and then you had the most wrestling WWE had ever promoted in like a generation, basically. Yeah. At the same time on the same show.
But Heyman had practiced. He was doing this type of stuff in ECW, wasn't he? He was doing all sorts of stuff like this with was it Bueller and so and loads of stuff like this, and obviously with Raven involved. So yeah, I mean, you're right, Michael. You've nailed it there, and it just shows you. I've obviously putting the Big Show in the title picture to keep everyone happy as well. It's like win-win all around. I can get away with whatever, but it is, but it is when you look at it, especially with today's eyes and stuff. It's like, how's this on a wrestling show? You've got to look at that side of it as well. It's crazy, but as I say, if you're watching it from what you do at the time, like it's just bizarre. It's just bizarre that ever on pay-per-view.
We've hit this point a lot on our podcast, but like ruthless aggression is a lie. It is one big. People say the ruthless aggression era. It's a lie. It's just even scabbier, cum-soaked attitude. That's all it is. Like Vince says it for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then you never hear it again. John Cena says it against Kurt Angle. This is just like the worst excesses of the attitude era. But they've literally lost the plot because it doesn't fit in with the wrestling show anymore, and yet it's the titillation. I mean, I'll say this, like around this time I had no time for him, but Jerry Lawler gets in a fantastic line here. Did you catch this? Like Al Wilson's been the one to cut the tape off, and Jerry Lawler says, I'm so angry about this, I want to break his neck but I can't stand up. And it's like, that's pretty good.
But as you say, it's like you say that it got a Road Warrior pop. Once again, that's the era we're in. Yeah. What you're giving Al Wilson, like you're giving him the heel heat, as Michael said, they're for switching the tape off, and then Dominique's by de facto babyface by wanting to put it back on. So you can't get like an turning babyface.
Matty, I was going to say when he did turn it off and the crowd are chanting, "We want more." They said it was like a bloody James Mason match at a Mega Slam show. It was.
It's just insanity when you think about it, what's on there. But as I say, Dominique, you've got to give her the flowers for it because she delivered for me in this. He was fucking, honestly, she was great.
I bet it drew. Genuinely, I bet this drew. I bet this is part of the buy rate. Honestly, I remember what happened, and you knew it was at least going to be a kiss, so they delivered just about what they promised without it being like a bait and switch as well.
And also, like Dawn Marie as well, I've got to give her, like, I think I've bigged it up a few times now. For someone who, when you think about it, is remembered for this, Michael, I always thought she had a bit of something. And it was one of them when she turned up in WWE, it was like, I couldn't believe they signed it. But then I think, well, yeah, you should have, because she had that just natural charisma in ECW, just the way she presented herself. She had that, like, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't.
Aura.
Yeah, genuinely, she had something about it. Yeah, and it was like, but then she looked completely different in a way when she comes to WWE. It was not too little, it was only 2 years later, but she was good in this. Like,
I can see why they put her with Al Wilson, because her whole act was to be like exciting and like sort of over the top next to like the most boring man alive, and she practiced that with Lance Storm.
Yeah.
And then it was like, right.
Oh, Michael, I love you. You know, keep throwing them rocks down, lad.
No, but like I'm taking the piss a bit because I'm thinking of Steve Austin building a bed on the stage. But like, but genuinely, Lance Storm's whole deal, wasn't he? That like he didn't know just how boring he was, and she was this like completely over the top.
Yes.
Like it was Tammy Lynn Bitch, wasn't it? And then Dawn Marie, like off the back of that. So like, I can see why Paul Heyman's been like, right, you're best bouncing off basically somebody that's got the charisma of an ironing board. And then like Torrie Wilson's brought a dad to a taping and he's gone, you like, this is good. I can sort of see how the pieces have ended up slotting together.
So away from a 5-star segment like that, let's go into Battle of the Hosses here now. As Kane comes out to Finger 11 proper tune. They're on tour pretty soon as well, aren't they, Matty?
I'll be going to that.
And taking on Kane, coming out to his evil bagpipe theme. It's Big Dave Batista.
What a tune, Michael. Honestly, I've got them.
Oh man, telling you what, man, this, you know, like the real ones in this chat, all three of us know the difference between Steve Austin's first and his second theme. This to me, this Batista, the babyface run when he still had this theme, Royal Rumble 2005, and he still got it. You're like, this is, I kind of wish they'd never changed it till much later in the run, because it's like that horn, that bagpipe, like you say, Andy, that you hear, that's the sign of like, oh my God, they've gotten somebody over. Like, that's what I think when I hear that music. It's like a star is actually born. By the time he was on the come up with that Triple H thing in 2004, he still had this theme, didn't he? I absolutely love it. Did you catch, by the way, we've not really talked about it, but that amazing set, the incredible stage with the fire.
How good's it, mate? And when Kane comes out.
But did you see that, like the Kane pyro, because it like it adds flames to the flames, it sets the Raw logo on fire, and then the start of this match, you can hear the fire extinguishers going off behind Ross and Lawler's head. You can just hear like psh, because the Raw logo's it's not pyro anymore, it's shoot on fire, because it's like, and it's the whole thing looked incredible,
unbelievable,
and all they use now is a big fucking television screen. I think that's the...
always say it's maybe not the best analogy, but like I always say about like the video games, it's like, why could you have 5 costumes in 1999 on a shit like bit, 64-bit like computer, when you've got all these graphics in the world and all this technology, and you can't choose like 5 different like attires to wear in a fight? It's like this with WWE. It's like you had so much, the best set of all time you've ever had, distinctive, creative. And there's just not no money. You've got more money than ever, and it's like a different world. You can do this. Like it doesn't make sense to me. That it does not make sense. It doesn't.
So what do we think of this match then, Matty?
Like the way you come to me on this one first. You know what? It is a lot of nothing, and it is Dave is green as goose shit here. Let's be honest. Kane is like, and I always stick up for Kane. And to be fair to him, like especially around this time before he become like later on. Like he did have a bit of juice coming back, and obviously this is after Katie Vick as well, which could have killed anybody's career. Let's not get this.
He certainly did have a bit of juice coming back, Matty.
And he's lumbered. It's typical Glenn, in it. He gets lumbered. I'm not sure, but I'm not saying that with Dave per se because he went on to be a great. But he's always through the new guy, and no matter who comes in. Like look at it with him in RVD a few months later with La Resistance. He just gets through whoever, and he always had that stigma. Kane just throw the new guy with him. But Batista, he can't do much, but he just looks great, doesn't he? That spirit, like in this, is just unbelievable. But it's the interference with Flair. It just takes the piss, literally, doesn't it? It's in front of the ref. He's not arse. You get the Batista bomb, and we're done. Nothing to it, really. But just Flair done me head in. He'll only do me head in more later on as we get to the main event.
Michael?
TV match, wasn't it, really? Like... You can't. I'll say this right: the Batista bomb and the spine buster. The more we could have watched week by week, he was adding more spring in his step, wasn't he? And I remember that being like the first point where you were like, right, that's something. It might not be a lot, but it's something. And then obviously, it was like 2 months after this when him and Randy Orton got injured in that same tag match. Was it like February maybe?
Yeah.
So he's got this little spell, and then everything's on ice again until the Goldberg stuff in the summer. So, like. it's a weird one to analyze this, because you wonder what might have happened if he'd never got hurt. Like if he'd have been able to, if Evolution would have gone into WrestleMania with Triple H, and like maybe they're a part of the Triple H act when he's feuding with Nash, and you know, it might have been different. But I don't know. Like this doesn't work for me, this one, because Kane. I remember Kane in this period, in the summer especially. It's you know, I don't like Kane, but everything, this entire show being bad is Triple H's fault. What you are watching is like Triple H strangling this entire company. I really believe that. Like, maybe it's just like memories of being an angry fan online, but like Kane has lost all of his aura because he's lost to Triple H. Like Rob Van Dam is stuck spilling drinks on himself at the World because he's lost to Triple H.
That's not a bad thing, Michael. If it was me and you, would it being at the World, though, would it? That's not a bad thing.
It'd be the greatest night of my life. I'd be there. I'm like Steve Austin, mate. I'd be there 7 days a week, twice on Sunday for the pay-per-view. Like, but it's just like you can see the damage. The like Triple H has got so little trust in anyone getting a spot, and Batista's like allowed a little bit of something, but I don't know, this like it's gotten out to it because Kane's lost that kind of lost that connection with the audience because he's a loser. You know, he's like, fans have seen that he couldn't get it done. So now when Batista's, it's that thing, isn't it? The idea on paper is, oh, Batista's gotten over because he's beaten Kane. Well, yeah, but like if everybody beats Kane, so what if Batista's beat Kane? He's lost that ability to help, hasn't he? You know.
You're right, Michael. And this once again, not just sticking up for Kane. Did when he come back, done the Un-American stuff, didn't he? And then he earned that title match because he was like the IC champ. He won the tag belts on his own in that TLC match. Everyone forgets. And but he wasn't. This wasn't just like what people think. Oh, Kane's getting pushed again. He didn't. This push. The fan. He was organic. He'd lost the weight. He come back with the new mask, new stuff. He looked well. He really did. And once again, this isn't just, oh, it's Kane getting a push. He earned it. And then, as you say, the KT Vic and Triple H thing just absolutely killed him off. Like,
I was going to say, though, I do feel he worked well with similar sized opponents as himself. Well, we know ourselves, Matty, who's seen him have matches against the Big Show, weren't it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But
yeah, no, you're right. You're all right.
Yeah, but similar thoughts to Michael. I only had 3 notes on this match. It was just a bit non-plus, 1 star, 1.5 effort out of the 2 lads, but 5-star theme tunes from both Kane and Batista. John Cena up next with Barry Bull Buchanan.
Bling Buchanan.
Bling bling.
This was John Cena's theme at the time. It was more like a rap beat than his basic Thugonomics era. Before we get into there's not much to say here. He does a bit of a rap and fucks off, but
literally doesn't do like even about a minute, does he? He does about fucks off.
But at time of recording, it's on the week of John Cena's last match. Will you be sad sad when he goes, Michael?
Right. Yeah, is the short answer. They got me twice recently with this. It was their last Raw in the Garden, and we all know the Garden will always be the Garden. Like him actually finishing up a match on Raw, I didn't expect to sort of be as emotional as I was about, that kind of thing. And then at the Survivor Series, the Dom match stole the show. It was like comfortably the best thing on the entire PLE. And then he's walking away and he just touches the screen as he exits. And then the camera pans out and you can actually see behind the tunnel as he walks away. And I don't know, I just found that I'm the type of person that attaches profundity to WWE. And I know that is alienating to some people, but it's kind of what I view a lot of life through. And 23, 24 years at this level is 22, 23, 24 years at this level, whichever way you slice it. And I just think maybe it's a low bar, but to me, that's such a long time, and lasts and finals and goodbyes are so powerful that I think I'm going to be in a little bit of a state come the last match. But it's a bit of an embarrassing thing to say because John Cena's cheesy, and is he anybody really's top number one favorite wrestler of our age, probably not.
Yeah.
But like, it just, you spend a lot of your life with somebody, and he spends a lot of his life doing that. And I think I'll be quite affected by it when he wraps up.
I'm exactly the same as you. Exactly the same, Michael. Like, for someone who's never been a John Cena fan, apart from this last like 3 or 4 months, if I'm going to be totally honest with you, he's won me over. But as you say, it's a tradition or whatever you want to call it. Like, for someone who's been on me telly and got a reaction out of me, mainly negative, like, oh, I hope this fucker lose. Like, I'm still that guy even at this age. I still want my favourites to win. Even though I know everything about wrestling, I still want my favourite guys to win, even though it's fake, fixed, whatever you want to call it. I'm that guy and always will be. I'll be attached. And I always wanted Cena to lose, but he still got that reaction out of me. And it's someone, as you said, Michael, over half our lives, mate. That's over half of our existence on this planet. We've sat there and watched this guy on our telly. And he was, you mentioned forums. It was from like 2009 all the way through to like 2012. And still the dying days of the UKFF for me. And it was like the best line ever. The minute Raw's theme ended, the guy, I can't remember who said it. It could have even been you, Michael, for all I care. It could have been you. It was like, before the Raw theme ended, you can almost hear John Cena's music starting. It was worse than Triple H ever was for coming out first on Raw. It was that music, do you know what I mean? And it was just strengthening it. And he's just on your telly weekly, as you're saying, even all them years. Like, it is. And as you say, you said it more better than I ever could there, Michael. It's just in you, isn't it? With WWE, that's us. Like, I'm the same as you, mate. Like we say, life. I'm sad enough to say whatever you want to say. I still do it at 39, 40. Go out and I associate it with life as everything. Yeah. It will always be that way with me as well. And I'm the same as you. I'll be crying my eyes out. I will. And this, as I say, to say what I've said again, ever been a John Cena guy, and I will be in tears 100%.
What about you, Andy?
I think when he was always winning at the time, you know, especially leading up to the when RVD ended up winning the title off him at that one night stand, you wanted him to fucking lose, didn't you? Because you were fed up as seeing him win. I liken it to Phil the Power Taylor's run on the PDC darts. Like, he'd win every fucking tournament and you couldn't wait to see him get beat. And then when Wayne Mardle beat him in the semi-finals that year, in the quarterfinals of the World Championship, like, yes, we've got our guy now. And then Wayne Mardle ends up losing to Kirk Shepherd. But yeah.
With Cena, Andy, with Cena, you're right there. That early doors was like the proper hatred for him winning. And I know it become a bit of a thing to do and a meme later on in the years. But once he did started losing, it was like, oh, look what I'm doing now. Yeah. And I'm going to go 2-footed in on Cena here after I've just said I was crying. He's one of the worst of all time. You can put him up there with Shawn Michaels and Triple H for me for holding people down. That's for me from that era. You can. The Nexus, he killed them off. People laugh at this. People laugh and think, oh, because it's WWE in 2010. No, they had something special. They really fucking did. In that era, they're coming out of the fucking guest house shit and all that, or in the midst of it, they could have had something fucking special. Even like your Edges and Chris Jericho was like, John, what are you doing here? You know, this isn't good for business. He could have stood up for himself and changed it. He had enough power.
Then again, one of his best eras, for me, when I was a fan of his, was it that time at WrestleMania where he lifted the Big Show up to win like the US title?
04,
20.
04, yeah. 20, and that's when I was enjoyed watching him.
I remember going to a house show on that tour in April, the WrestleMania Revenge tour in 2004, and you knew it was going to stick because it was the first time since probably since the Attitude Era, like 3/4 of the people were in Cena merch. It was like his first Word Life top, and like he'd probably had another T-shirt out by then, or it was maybe they were selling the wristbands.
Rook Fools, really? Like, remember that one, Michael?
Rook Fools, But you were just like, instantly you could tell, right, this is going to work because that many people. And I remember, I'm the same as you, Andy. I remember really connecting. Like remember that orange DVD that came out that was pretty much just about the rapper John Cena.
Weird Life.
It was piss funny because it was just all the raps back to back to back to back, and it was just the matches were what they were, but like the raps were so good you almost forget. There's a Jey Uso element to it, wasn't it? You kind of learned to wrestle on the job, John Cena, rather than ever being very good to begin with.
There was that WrestleMania as well where they thought like Jay-Z were turning up or some other rapper to to go against him. And it would have been, like, if he did turn up, it would have been a huge thing.
Back to sticking up for him. People shit on the spinner WWE title, and rightfully so, but the spinner US title, the Dex.
Oh,
now we're talking. That was a belt. That was a good belt.
It's because you can do what you want at the mid-card belts. You just don't fuck with the proper ones. That's the
Why
thing,
did
isn't it?
Like, Michael, for like 5 years after, why did they keep that belt? It seemed Triple H with it. Why? It just doesn't fit, does it?
Friggin' Triple H, CM Punk, The Miz with the upside down M where it got stuck in place.
At least, to be fair, at least he done so. We forgot.
Oh, of course, yeah. Cena, like, I tell you what, mate, like Cena, you can blame Cena, I think, for Roman Reigns taking 6 years to actually make it on top. Cena broke. John Cena broke what it meant to be a top star. He did. He broke the company, like, because it's not just about direct burials, your likes of your Nexuses or your Edges or whatever. It's the fact that, like, he completely reframed what it was to be a top guy, and unless you hit all of these criterias, you weren't going to be considered a top guy. And it was like it was only set up for John Cena to hit those criteria. Even look at Batista, like, as a comparison point. They came up together, but once they got what they wanted out of Cena, it was like, whoosh, like, and it was always 1A, 1B. And, like, when you had to, by the time they turned Batista heel, it was the smart story to tell, wasn't it? It was like, hang on, how come you were the one that got everything? And I ended up just being plain old Dave Batista. Like, Cena, like, when Roman Reigns was expected to be the guy that made every town, to be the guy that did the suffering succotash, wink and nudge, laughing promos like John Cena did. Like, it wasn't going to work, but that was what was expected all of a sudden of a top guy now, because Cena had completely, like, torn up the rule book.
And Roman's not going to have to stick it up for him, obviously, but that he was not going to have the power then. He's going to go along with it. He's getting the main event. He knew, he says in interviews that even at the time, you know, he can't question it that much, because why would you when you're getting this push? You know what I mean? When you're getting this exposure and this experience, this money, whatever you want to call it, why would you call it out? Seeing that I'd done it for years, he had enough power to go, wait there a minute, Vince, this isn't good. Yep. And what's Vince going to do? Is he going to leave to TNA or what's Vince going to get rid of him? No, he was his cash cow, wasn't he? It was at the end. It's
not even. I think as well, it's not even Vince, is it? It's Cena's mentality, because look at some of the shite he was peddling earlier this year. Like, when they turned him heel, he cut like 4 different kind of heel promos, didn't he? Yeah. Like, one of them was like, each and every one of you. Then there was another one about how I'm going to ruin wrestling. And it was like, they never really settled on what type of heel. One time he was a coward. One time he was a monster. It was just, he was obviously being told, can you do this? And he'll go, yeah, right, you are, boss. And he would just do it, like, even when it didn't work.
And that's why I always say as well, why I do love Roman, because once he got fitted in after 4 or 5 years, and right, it took the pandemic, but still fair play to him, stand up going, right, this is shit, this. And as you say, the dog food stuff, Andy, which in isolation didn't mind as a humiliation angle. Do you know what I mean? The shit with the dog coming out was terrible.
Terrible.
But in isolation, one of the worst. But I say in isolation for the old school heat angle, that's a good angle. But after all that, and he's went, fuck this off. I'm going to do what I want to make it a bit more edgy, a bit more cool. And don't get me wrong, I was laughing my head off, Michael. You'd appreciate this one. It's like, it's the typical cool wrestler, isn't it? That, like, as a heel, it's like, you're right, he couldn't lose because he was making the money off the merch when he was the fucking heel, wasn't he, Roman Reigns? So it's like, go and do it and go. That's why I fucking love him, because of that as well.
Roman going home instead of working the main event at WrestleMania in March 2020 was the moment. That was the moment. Because the brass bollocks on that.
Oh, yeah.
Just be like, nah, you know what? I'm like, I don't know how serious this COVID is. It's only a fake belt. You can shove it up your ass. That's the moment. That is because then he grows 100 foot in size. His face looks different when he comes back, because he's like, there's a different aura and energy in Tyler. The man that just kind of like went like that to a WrestleMania main event because he wanted to protect himself and his kids. That's a different energy.
And they also perfected method acting by talking to himself in the ring.
Do it every morning myself, Andy, you know what I mean? Rubbed off on me,
Moving along now to match number 6 for the women's title. It's Trish Stratus versus Miss Jackie and Victoria, coming out to the banger of a hit from Tattoo. All the things she said.
Well, where do you want to go? Do you want to go on this one? I mean, I want to say, I think you're not let down, because this is the women's position at the time. You're getting 3, 4, 5 minutes, even on a pay-per-view. But obviously, Trish and Victoria, I always thought had great chemistry. Throw Jackie in there as in the mix, but it's just the finish was a bit mad in out of nowhere. It was weird. You know what I mean? They were trying to set it like the ref didn't see it, which he didn't, but there's no DQs. Are we in that era yet where there's no DQs in it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a bit, but I just thought it was a bit of a nothing. And I enjoyed the video package because I was thinking, how's Jackie been inserted into this? I thought it'd just be a natural rematch from Survivor Series, but I didn't mind it. Didn't mind the story they told, and it was still that physical side that Jackie was as well. So it played into that of Survivor Series. So it was a bit let down, if I'm honest, and it wasn't probably the ladies' fault. It's probably the time and the finish, really. But yeah, disappointed.
I felt like I was watching something that had its time cut by about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like, you know, and you feel like what have they had to lift out just to get through what they need to. And I've got in my notes here, did Victoria make her gear from some of the spare outfits from the Johnsons in TNA? Because it was horrendous, man. It was that like beige flesh colored stuff, and it weirds me out in wrestling when people dress in those colors.
The Johnsons. So. What an awful thing.
2002, man. Honestly, 2002 was a problem. Like it's a bad year. 2002.
Yeah, it was a shame. It was just very short, this match. The Trish and Victoria match from Survivor Series, a bit of an underrated banger, that, isn't it?
I think they only got better as well. I'm sure there's one on Raw in about March, April 03, a hardcore match and rematch they have. That's really good.
Yeah.
Honestly, like Trish, it's not a myth, is it, Trish Michael? She was good.
No.
Like she was fucking good. I mean, don't you know, we were talking about doing a side project with my own the work rate Candice Michelle run, but you know, the streets remember that, you know what I mean? Exactly. Andy, I'm telling you, you have to be there. You have to be there.
All eyes on the podcast. Like the thing was with like Trish, this is not a hot take or anything, but like Candice Michelle's a good example, and there was a few like her where basically Trish, in a good, what we've just said about John Cena, Trish was like the good version of that. Like she was the new model. You could see Victoria was coming through in the exact same way. They needed one or two good hands like Molly and Jackie and Jazz, and then the new ones coming through, the stars they actually wanted to push, like your Trish's, like your Candice Michelle's. They're going to bump around with it was Finlay, was it, and Lance Storm and the likes of that. And then when time comes for the actual TV matches, you're in there with more experienced. Like Jackie's obviously in there to add a bit of flavor because you've just had the singles match, but also they know that she's a safe pair of hands, and it'll be like an ingredient that works. You're not just doing what you would do now, where you'd have like two like wrestlers that have barely wrestled like 10 matches in a year or something like that. When you look at the cage match, it's like it's the opposite of development now, isn't it? Whereas here, all this is going to do is make, like, they've probably ran this triple threat on the house show 10 nights in a row before this.
Easily.
Like it's helping Trish and Victoria get better 10 times quicker, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, one thing's for certain, you won't be doing a mixtape on Michelle McCool matches.
No. The inventor of the Styles Clash, Michael. I used to throw that in the IWC days. You know? People didn't like that at all.
Go on a TNA thread and be like, that's a cracking looking faith breaker from AJ Styles.
Incredible.
Love that one.
Match number 7 is for the WWE title with belts and braces Big Show. This is the challenger, Kurt Angle. Obviously, Big Show has won the title from Brock Lesnar at the Survivor Series after Paul Heyman turned on Mr. Lesnar.
Yeah, I mean, Michael, this one, it's one of them typical, and they do it now and again, WWE, don't they? The ones that come to mind are like, you get, you know, not obviously in the highest regard, but remember the scene at JBL where Michael's on the outside and they had Orton and Seth and Kane was the gatekeeper. It's a match designed about you're waiting for the individual to interfere. Yeah. So all night they positioned, Brock Lesnar's suspension's lifted. Brock's even said, I'm going to make an impact. You're basically having a match here waiting for Brock Lesnar to get involved. That's what they're literally doing here.
Matty, like, it's very much a human form of Chekhov's table, isn't it?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. You're just waiting for him to come out. But when he does, and the pop it gets, and obviously it leads to the story. we need to go over this again, Michael, at the end, because I need to watch the SmackDowns after this because I still don't get why they done this and how it made sense. Haven't we tried before, haven't we?
I was going to say, I remember us talking about this. So I've put in my notes, I should have watched it, but I just racked my brains to try and make sense of it. So we'll try and decode it again at the end of this match, because I know we've had a good crack at this one in the past, and it never quite works, does it? No. Like, can we just stop and have a moment and pay our respects? I think I'm going to stick my neck out and say this: number one Kurt Angle attire, this Scott Steiner Survivor Series 1990, pure flag, nothing but flag, like opposite, like stars on here, stripes over here, opposite knee pads, Angle on the boots. That's the one. That is liquid Kurt Angle attire. It gets no better than this. Bald head as well. The bald head works better with Kurt's gear. The bald head always worked better.
Yeah,
I love it. I think he looks the tits here, man, honestly.
And it's always one of my favourite early days of Twitter as well, where I was just randomly watching, I can't know what pay-per-view it was, and I just didn't know how to even tweet people back then, but I figured out how to tweet Kurt Angle, and I just said, how good were you in 2002, mate? It was your best year. And he fucking got back to me, he loved it. I was made up. I was proper made up. He said, yeah, one of the best years. I was like, well, in kids. Oh, just... But he like, and Michael, I'm going to go off on one, not Sacred Cow. Like, I still don't get this thing with Kurt Angle, why people don't rate him. Like, it's bizarre to me. We all have opinions. We all have this, that, and the other. And I'm all for it. You know me. I love, like, even if I've got the complete opposite take to you, if you're that passionate, I'm like, fair play. I love it. I love everyone being passionate. I just don't get where this has come from. It's not the fact of, he's not one of the best. It's the fact people say he wasn't good. It baffles my brain. Like, I must be just, I don't know. All right, or people say about the 5-star match, but fucking hell, you know, it baffles me.
I think, I don't know this because you don't want to speak for anybody's criticisms of him. I think his psychology gets criticized because he came to favor the stealing finisher kick out stuff, like sort of 2000, 2001, when you were allowed to do everything to excess. That was when he was coming up, wasn't it? So I think he got used to that. And then by the time he was considered like the work rate favorite and whatever, like this period of time, really, he could just go to the well with it. But for him, again, it's what you make up in your head. Yeah. Kurt Angle, for me, was like the perfect wrestler to do that with, because look at his background. Like, he won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. If there was anybody that, while he's pissing sweat out of every pore and screaming, could get an adrenaline hit and just survive and like, but like the way his body, we've reviewed, it must be Kurt and Austin in like the 2001 Fed Odyssey, but there's a way that Kurt Angle bumps on his front where like he makes his body bounce. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, he has got, it's like his inside his skin is made of those little springs you get in biros, like, because they just sort of like pops, like they're. And I love it. I'm with you, Matty, 100%.
He's a machine, Michael. I mean,
he's a monster. He absolutely puts a lot of wrestlers like him to shame because he's the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
You look at the sort of like, the whatever you would class like 90s North American work rate as, right? And Brett and Shawn are the bar. And I think that's beyond argument, right? If you look at like what it is to be sort of a technical all-rounder. And I know like Steve Austin was a hell of a mechanic, but like it's Brett and Shawn in that 90s vein. And then as it moves into the turn of the century, you can see sort of like Benoit coming for it and Guerrero coming for it. And even a little bit, dare I say it, like 2000 for a minute, Triple H coming for it and Jericho. And there's Angle's the bar. Angle is the watermark of that style at this time. You watch it you were talking about Benoit Guerrero from Unforgiven 2002.
Yeah.
Like, when they put Angle and Benoit together, that's what makes the SmackDown 6 as good as it is. Definitely. Like, don't tell me that if you watch like Los Guerreros versus Edge and Ray, it was going to be as good as one of the ones with Angle and Benoit in. It's their team, because Benoit can be like a little bit stiffer and a little bit sturdier, and then he makes the hot tag and Kurt goes fucking ballistic, and it's like he's the real secret ingredient in that.
But that's the thing, it's how you look at your wrestling. But to me, it's not here though, Michael. It's like it's like where people, and once again, this is sticking up for Undertaker, but in the past people say Undertaker doesn't. He's a zombie. That's his character. All right, you don't like his character, but he shouldn't be firing up. He shouldn't be doing this. I know that he's a dead zombie. He's going to do it with his own. Like you said, you know, Michael, it's like he does come to like become more human when mankind cracks him. But listen, Billy, that's right. What happens, and he comes more human. That's why you can introduce his brother, etc. That's a different type of wrestling altogether. The soap opera side. But with Kurt Angle, like you say, he's won the Olympics, so he's legit. Let's go there first. He'll take more punishment. He'll get up more. He's a wrestling machine. That's his gimmick. He's going to get up more. He's not going to sell as much. He's going to bounce around and do whatever he can. He's a wrestler. I just don't see it. I can't think how people can say a bad word about him. Like it's
plus as well, Matty, you do that show on GRAPPL months ago, the GRAPPL Hall of Fame. You know where you're rating them on. What have you. And Kurt Angle's probably, well, he's top on the wrestling, but also the personality side. And
that's an amazing all round it. Like, but you can always use that. He's such a geek and a dork, but he'll fucking do you in the ring. You know what I mean? And then you can have him as this serious all rounder if you want. You know what I mean? The TNA lent on the comedy too much in 0809 when he was main event Matthew. He had a bit too comedic to him, but you could always switch him back dead serious, and he'd always pull it off like that. It baffles, and I think, and once again, it's not modern wrestling. Sorry, Michael. It did get dragged. It's the 5-star comment that the new generation of fans took on board. And like, wait, Kurt Angle hasn't even had a 5-star match. He's shit. No, he's not. Newsflash, he's not.
I tell you what, right? If the measure of the man is on the company he keeps, you can tell how good Kurt Angle was, because just take a look at, like, he was at what, like 6 months in, and the Undertaker was treating him like shit at Fully Loaded, and Triple H was fucking cutting the legs off that program in the summer of 2000, and Steve Austin was middling him to keep him as like his number 2. The top stars knew that spot was Kurt Angle's the moment he chose it, so they were like, let's use our power and use our you're a great hand. I love working with you, Kurt. The Rock back in his Selfless era was the only guy that gave Kurt the proper like red carpet treatment. All the other top stars were always trying to like lower the ceiling on Kurt because they knew he could take their spot in a second. Because what couldn't he do as their bodies were breaking down, as they were getting older? And this guy is barely out of Memphis. And like he was a real wrestler, you know, like no, he can do all of it, and he's faster and he's younger and he's hungrier, and they were all shitting themselves. Like, he had it instantly. Definitely.
This match, like Matty said, it's very much waiting until Lesnar turns up. We have an appearance by a train who derails.
Turned up at this station unannounced, didn't he? You know what I mean?
But when we have a big show choke slam, here is Brock, comes in, F5s him, he just hoiks show up.
We're not quite at a Death Valley Driver here at F5's the big show, are we? Yeah, he's still landed on side.
Which ends up with Kurt Angle getting the victory, as it ends up being the new champion. And a 3-star match, it's entertaining, but you're waiting for the obvious to come, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, Michael, are we having a crack at it then, or what's going on here?
I've taken some notes, but this is all from memory. So if anybody,
this the Alan off Hangover meme going around with it?
If anybody's doing a SmackDown 2002 watch along, well, you have my sympathy, but feel free to correct me on this, right? If you're listening to this, so Kurt Angle says he comes out and he's like, "Thanks, Brock. You saw it through and you helped me win the title, and I want to give you a title shot, but I can't right now because I'm actually going to be fighting Chris Benoit first. But I'll give you a title shot. I'll give it you next week. Or like in like a month's time, or whatever." He said, like, "You're going to get one. I've just got to like kick it into the long grass for now," basically, right? And that's at like the start of SmackDown, and like the fans don't like that. And they so Kurt is already like teasing that he might turn heel, but I think they shake hands or something, you know, it's like, it's agreed that like, yeah, the match is going to take place or whatever. So Brock has got what he wants and he leaves, right? So once he's gone, then you've got this Kurt Angle, Paul Heyman thing where Paul Heyman's like in there trying to like negotiate a match for the big show to get a rematch or something like that. And then the two of them are like, we got you. Heyman's my manager. And everybody's like, what? And then Heyman explains, in the video package to this, Brock had been suspended for like tearing up the backstage area looking for Paul Heyman. And then somehow, mysteriously, Brock was unsuspended just in time for the match at Armageddon.
Yeah.
Basically, Heyman says, I think, that I convinced Stephanie to unsuspend Brock because I knew Brock would help Kurt win. And that was part of mine and Kurt's grand plan, right? So they've set this whole plan up. And the Big Show is like, I'm going to fucking second, what? But he's so big and dumb and stupid that Heyman and Kurt are like, think about it, Paul. Like, you've got the Olympic gold medalist, you've got the monster, and you've got the brains. And as long as Brock never gets the belt again, all three of us can agree that we don't want Brock to win the belt, right? We've all got our different reasons for Brock not wanting to win the belt. And Big Show's like, oh, okay, boss. And that's pretty much it. Like,
see,
and it's
it's not good.
It's shit, right? So if I've missed a key detail out there, I apologize. But I don't think that's ever stood up, ever. And that's the best sort of recollection of that I can give you.
Because that's what I'm saying. It's like, I get if it was all Heyman and Angle, that's fine. That's just typical heel, whatever. But it's Big Show just accepting it and going along with it.
Yeah.
That never made sense. And I know, as you say, he's the big dumb giant, but it's like, no, he's been positioned as this monster since he's come to SmackDown. Then you turn them back down to that straight away. It's not good. I would have preferred something even more just generic or whatever to compare to that. It just never. And then 2 weeks later, Angle's got like Team Angle with him as well, hasn't he?
Team Angle, yeah.
What's going on? Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
And they've put like a thing in the contract. It was like a secret thing, wasn't it? That like as long as Kurt, like he's indefinitely now, Brock can't get a title shot, and that's why he's got to win the Rumble.
Yes. Once again, all that's fine if Big Show didn't just accept it.
Yeah.
Well, that's our semi-main done with.
Well done, lads. Thank you for another episode.
Shall we get into the main event, which is match number 8 on the card? It's basically 2 out of 3 falls, 3 stages of hell between Triple H and Shawn Michaels. So the 3 matches, the first fall is a no DQ street fight, similar to the one they had at SummerSlam when Shawn come back. And then the second fall will be a steel cage match. And the last one will be a ladder match. Triple H is looks like he's busted one of his quads again. He's like taped up. Where do we start with this, lads? It's
we're gonna go back, Michael. Let's just and Andy, let's just all go through this hell together, little, because no, I mean, I'm gonna give it one thing. The only thing I'll give this match. The barbed wire bat set on fire shot is amazing, and it's got no right to be in this match because it's fucking. And these two shouldn't be used. It's just great though. What a shot! Like it is. It's a great. He takes it to the head. Triple H. That's the only good thing I'll say about this, because for 2 wrestlers who, and I've been going back and forth in my head. Like obviously it's an all-timer. Shawn's comeback match, the occasion. It was in New York. It was everything about it. Spot on. Really is spot on. The last man standing match they have at Royal Rumble, I'd have to go and rewatch. Remember it not being great because of the finish, but maybe not as bad as people remember. The Hell in a Cell match, is it still bad yet?
Stinks.
The Hell in a Cell match, Michael, is 47 minutes of torture. Like that is thinking you're great and just wanking yourselves off all night for 47 minutes. Whereas this is in that similar ilk, but Triple H shouldn't even be in there. He's injured. And I get it, like, fair play. Can you say fair play? And you're a man and you're a warrior for getting in there. It's like, no, you're making the match fucking worse by doing this. It's just wrestlers are mad.
Like, we're all doing this podcast, right? Just chatting shit or whatever. Imagine, right, if like in the DMs about a month ago, I said like, right, bad news, boys. One of my kids has jumped on my throat and like crushed my trachea. And I said, I don't know if I can like do a podcast in a month's time because I'm not sure how my throat's going to be. And you both go, yeah, fair enough. Like, that's horrendous. Get well soon. and Triple H is doing like a 3 stages of hell main event because he's so petrified of not getting his plum spot with his best mate. Like, wrestlers are mad. They are insane
Michael,
up there.
If it was a normal match,
throat.
If it was a normal match, he shouldn't be in there. It's a match where he's got to climb things, a cage and a ladder. Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
But then, Matty, that would have meant that like somebody on the Raw undercard might have gotten over, and we cannot have that. Like, I'm a Shawn guy as much as the next man, but he's just as much to blame for this. They're just fucking jacking each other off here, aren't they? This is helping nobody. Like, RVD gets the pissy little TV match, and then he's out the way, and he's at WWE New York, and it's just like,
can you imagine? Michael, can you imagine him and Shawn Michaels in a 3 stages hell with these gimmicks? It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Be amazing. Be amazing. A dream match. Like a legit, like imagine in ECW in 1998, you're pitching like in 4 years' time, he's going to work Shawn in a 3 stipulation match. It'd blow your head off, wouldn't it? Like,
that's where I laugh at Triple H sometimes, but this is one where it's like, no, you shouldn't have been in there. It should be Van Damme instead. You can get your match at the Rumble or whatever you want to do. Get it on Raw if you need to get it back on you. Let these have this big showcase match, and you get your back.
Matty, like with the actual first fall, like a street fight, you think, fucking, backs to the wall, and it turns out to be just a methodical street fight where Triple H is trying to beat down Shawn's knee, and the crowd are just like going comatose until like the fire spot with the barbed wire bat. It's nowhere near what their original street fight was like.
Oh no, like that's probably, I'd say that's the best thing with the fire. And I did actually, I've got another note. I did like the callback with the sidewalk slam through the chair, but it was this time. I did like that, to be fair to them, but it's the first fall for me actually didn't offend me. That was probably the best that they could do, obviously. And Michael, please agree with me. Did you used to hate the way Shawn Michaels never used to leave his feet for the pedigree until he sussed it out years later? You just stay on the one when he turns when it's DX. Triple H is like, it's like a backdrop, and then he comes down.
It's his body shape the whole way. I don't like how his arms are. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not on. Do you know what I'll give him? Right, there's a little bit of Bret Hart in this match, if you can believe that, right? And do you know what it is? It's how logical they end up with the 4 tables. So, like, the first table is just to get a table to put Triple H through. The second one is because Triple H wants to do a suplex from the ring, so he needs 2. And then Flair building the tower to give Triple H less of a climb over the top. Like, Flair puts those 2 out, doesn't he? Because Triple H has got like 1 leg over the cage, and Flair's like I'll get you. I'll get up there myself. We'll give you 2 tables, and they've come up with a really creative way to set 4 tables and then just leave them there. And I thought that was like, I'd forgotten how I knew the finish. Obviously, how would you learn to fall off a 20? It's in the videos forever, isn't it? Like, and I couldn't remember how they'd arrived at like the weird sight of 4 tables, because that was always like the Matt Hardy and Edge of the TLCs, wasn't it? It was like the reason they worked as well as, and Bubba, like the reason they worked as well as they did, because they insisted on it being like A to B to C to D. And to be fair to them, like they do arrive at a totally organic reason why you've just got this tower of tables. The rest of it can fuck off. I never want to watch it again. Like,
no, I'm not watching this ever again. Ever now. It's in the black book, Michael. This match, the first one ever in the black book.
It breaks my heart. Like, it's just because Shawn Michaels coming out for the first time in 2002 in his proper gear, wearing that world title, that does something to me. Like, he's in his red Heartbreak Kid tights, and he's got Flair's world title. Like, that's like he's gone to WCW. Like, looking at him there, he's not wearing the brown. He's not wearing the weird HBK license plate tights from Raw. He's not in his jeans or his oh, they're stinkers. They are absolute stinkers. Like, he's not wearing his God Fish t-shirt that says like, it's like only, the one I'm on about where it says HBK inside the fish's body. Like, he's just Shawn Michaels, the WCW World Champion. It looks terrific, and then it's like you can have one look at it, and then it's back to Paul. Like,
that cage match, it's a triple threat match, isn't it? Like, Flair's just busting, gigging. He's taking all Triple H's bumps. It's a triple threat. But even this, like, you're saying jumping into the ladder match, that is a because it doesn't all the way break, does it? The table, it still looks good. You know what I mean? Still looks like a kill and all that.
Yeah.
But even the splash off the top, it just didn't. I didn't have that oomph, maybe because it was just, you know what I mean? He kind of fell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't shoot it from the other side of the ring, so you didn't get the WrestleMania 10 beauty shot either of him actually going arms up like there. None of it felt like it was connected to what it was like. The wrestlers knew what it was supposed to reference, but the production didn't.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm with you. Like, honestly, I will never. Next time, I wouldn't even, if someone offered me £100 to watch this match, I wouldn't. I'd turn that down. I'd turn that 3 figures down.
Here's one for you both, right? Again, to call back to a prior edition of this show. Gun to head, would you rather watch this or Austin Undertaker from, was it Backlash we covered? Because I think this has got at least a little bit more to look at. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's got
terrible.
Yeah, this Michael. Yeah,
you'd have to pick this, wouldn't you? Because I remember that. I think we were all just angry with both of them, weren't we? And Flair was out there again taking everybody's bumps. In his little, he was the original Red Shoes, wasn't he? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh Christ. Michaels won the second fall, hitting the splash off the cage. The third fall was the ladder match, where Michaels misses the splash off a ladder. Michaels on the ladder, then gets chucked through all 4 of them tables. Cracking spot, this one. But Triple H is left all alone, staring at the belt, and then he grabs it, and here we go. A bit of Reign of Terror on the way for you.
Just as I say, one of the worst main events, Michael. We're going that deep on it, like it is, isn't it? Like, considering who's in there and you know all about them and what they're playing at, it's got to be up there, one of the worst of all time. Yeah.
I'll go to bat for the I think the Raw TV match a year later.
No, unbelievable. No, that is second best he ever had. That's brilliant.
A really good bit of business, that one. And I like but I like this in any wrestling. I like Taboo Tuesday because Shawn's got his bum knee, and any time wrestlers have actually got a restriction or something working against them, it sets the creative going, and it's like, well, the good ones anyway. And like they've got one story they can tell, and that's all it is. Shawn will not give up, and Triple H just like zeroes in on the leg over, and that's all it is. It's a one issue match, and it works so well. It's because it's Taboo Tuesday, and Shawn has yet again won the vote. He's not even really in a position to take the match, but he can't not. So that's all they play with, the whole thing. So that's quite interesting. But anytime they're given the props, or they're given the toys or anything like that, or the time even. Like, I didn't even love that like Elimination Chamber ended with the 2 of them. Like it feels so like they love this feud more than any fans do in 2002. Definitely. Does that make sense? Like I never felt like anybody liked Triple H versus Shawn Michaels as much as Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Yeah. Like, I don't like 2006 DX at all. But they come back together and they're hot as fuck, and the merch sells, and like the people are happy to at least see them visually together, you know. And I think like I didn't like it one bit, but I can't watch it and say, well, no, it didn't have its place. People wanted to see it. Who's asking for this at this time? It's these 2 are doing it for themselves, you know.
I don't mind 06, but only maybe because how bad 09 was. Do you know what I mean? Like that, it was like way past it. The ear lads, you know what I mean?
I think 06 were maybe around the time I was. That was maybe a point in my WWE fandom that I was like, "There's fucking like Ring of Honor going on here," and in TNA
was class then as well. So like it was really easy to jump to TNA, wasn't it?
I agree, Michael. Obviously, the comeback match, it's in its own like universe, we'll say, because
different thing,
the occasion, everything. Like I said before,
I'm not saying Triple H got a free pass there, but like imagine how many wrestlers could have done like a Shawn Michaels injured back match with Shawn Michaels. It's his story, isn't it? You know, like
but the other two,
a lot of wrestlers could have done that.
Are better. Consider like the 3 that, like as you said, the 3 stages, the last man standing, the Hell in a Cell, which you assume because of the gimmicks. They're all terrible, but that Raw one is a straight up match in Texas, And that 6 minute is a Taboo Tuesdays. Like Michael's begging Yoda, please, Mike, don't ring the bell.
It's great.
Gold. It's gold.
I have to go on back and watch that one now.
It's brilliant.
It's put it over, mate.
Yeah.
What would you gold star rating on this? It's a
match. Mate, it's a 1 star. It's a
1 star.
It's a fucking dud, considering it really is. No, it is. Capital letters. It's dud.
Michael, you're very similar on that.
Very much so. Like they're cheating. Like they're doing bloody tables and chairs inside a cage, and there's not a lick of psychology to any of it. Do you know what I mean? Like this is just like free pass plunder to the big stars who were supposed to be the super workers. Do you know? It's like how much more shit do they need given to them, and they still can't make something that gets over in the building? Fuck them.
And these are the ones who come out with like students of the game and bullshit like that, and then they're doing this.
Before, Triple H should be getting so much praise for going out there because he's injured. No, you shouldn't have been out there doing this type of match. You shouldn't have been doing any match at all. And begins and ends with yeah.
He's got no throat and a bum leg. Like he's just like. And then he's the cheeky bastard. He knows he's not 100%, but he works that pace in the Rumble Steiner match to kill Steiner. Like Steiner was shite, but like he kills that dead in that first match because he knows that Steiner's weak, and he's like, well,
that's the one with all the belly to bellies, and the crowd would get restless with it. Yeah.
Steiner's got drop foot, hasn't he? But like Triple H is basically like, well, I'm injured, but he's more injured, and I can kill a career at the same time. So I think I'll do that. He's a fucking piece of shit. Honestly, this brings all the worst out in me of this run. Like it's the thing is, right? You can watch a lot of old wrestling. I'm sorry, we should have wrapped this up half an hour ago, but I've ranted. Like you can watch all the old wrestling, and you can be like, you know what, I was too hard on that, or that's nowhere near as good as I remember it. And time does funny things to all of us, doesn't it? The Triple H Reign of Terror is exactly as you remember it. It is to the letter. Like if you think, when people exaggerate and it's like, oh, so-and-so buried this guy and, oh, remember all them people he beat? And then you look back and it was only like 1 or 2 or something. No. Every name that people said he buried. Every match he won that he shouldn't have done, he won. It's fucking diabolical business. And he's lucky that like in 2002 and 2003 and 2004, like nobody was over. If you'd have had half of Steve Austin on that roster, then fucking Triple H would have been Dunsky. But like, who really, like once Rob Van Dam and Kane and some of the like the up and comers in 2002 are dealt with, who's coming for him in 2003? It's not Nash. It's not fucking 20-minute match Goldberg. It's not Scott Steiner. Like Booker T's the one. Inarguable with Booker T. But really, nobody's even posing an actual threat, which is why he gets away with it.
But even to be fair to Booker
Randy
T,
Orton, man, he fucking he
knows
knows
that
he kills Orton. Like he knows that Benoit's it's just a token run, and he knows it as well. Like so, he knows that like Benoit's just a matter of time before he's flipping that back. He murders Orton, like, and then Batista's everybody praises like, but he did the right thing at the end. He did right by Batista. No, Batista was the first one that came along that left him no choice but to do it. Yeah. If it was John Cena on the other channel, it would have been Cena as well. There were finally 2 guys that like boring shit era Triple H cannot argue are like they're actually the guys to replace you. He's a fucking dick, man. Like he's just the worst for it. The worst.
But it's even with the Booker T stuff, Michael. It's going back to everything now. Triple H and Rock, innit? Because even Rock, he doesn't pin him.
Yes.
Puts him over in that battle royal, doesn't he? At the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Triple H, no, I'll kill you for that now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rock and Triple H, mate. Forever.
It's like 2 weeks after. I know it's like the Austin job, but like when Rock gets pinned off Hurricane, and then Triple H squashes Hurricane like a bug with a pedigree 1, 2, 3, just to be like eat greens.
Exactly.
So we've come to the end of the show, but the question is ever, shite or not shite, Matty?
I'm gonna have to say, for probably the first time in a while, maybe I have to go back and listen to the archives. I'm gonna say this is definitely shite.
Yeah,
it's for me. It's got one really good match. It's got a wild segment, I'll say. And it's got an all right couple of matches, but I enjoyed Benoit and Eddie. Best thing on here for me. I really did enjoy that. But that main event, I mean, you can't be any show. This would bring any show down. If you've had 6, this would bring an AEW 4.5-hour pay-per-view down. This main event for all the good matches. Do you know what I mean?
I'd want to quit watching wrestling if that was at
and
the end.
I've half sticking up for it there, AEW. So yeah, I mean, definitely shite.
Yeah, Michael, shite or not shite?
Why is it that when I listen to your podcasts and by the end I find myself agreeing with you both that the thing has needed reappraising and it's come good, that when I come on these podcasts, it's liquid drizzling shite? Awful. Like, and I'm not as kind as Matty to the rest of the card as well. Like, awful. The worst. Like, I think the saddest, more so than like some of the stuff they were doing times that people consider worse. I think 2002 is maybe my saddest year as a fan, because it's like, I don't even really like, you know how weird it is when like everybody comes in 2002, like every face and name and every weird visual you can imagine happens in 2000. They lose the F, the whole deal. Like, it's like death of a dream for me. This is inarguably terrible every week, and I'm the mug that continues to watch it, and nobody talks to me about wrestling anymore. Like, it's relentlessly bad 2002, and this is like a good example of that, I think. Yeah,
I'm as similar with this one, even though I do enjoy going back watching these. It's always a fun time, but there's not much good on this. I think highest I rated anything was like 3 stars. Yeah. And that's his Big Show and Kurt Angle.
Torrie and Domery. Is that?
Oh, that's 5 stars in my book, mate. 5 cowboy hats for that segment. Even
I was going to say 7 stars in the Tokyo Dome, not room 357, is it? Whatever it is.
But yeah, I think a full house here of shite to end this series of shite. But I've got a quiz for you guys.
Okay,
let's go.
We all know how I recently whooped Matty's ass during the GRAPPL.
I've got to take that. That round where you got all the champions in modern wrestling. I mean, fair play to unbelievable.
That was amazing. I was in awe of that. I was like, I thought you were just like, this was like Grok or something. You were making up wrestlers. I was just
man.
Brilliant. But I will say, Andy, I did win out of the GRAPPL lads, so I'll always use that token to use against them lads. But obviously to you, mate, a worthy winner, of course you was.
Frill Billy Silas Mason. Thanks very much. Anyway, the quiz is actually Christmas #1s in wrestling. So who was the champion at the end of these years?
Okay.
So I've got 5 each for you. And we're going to go to Matty first. 2003.
The which champion? World champion?
Well, WWE champion.
At the end of 2003.
Yeah.
It was Brock Lesnar.
You'd be correct there. Brock Lesnar, 2003. Michael, 2004.
JBL.
Correct. It is JBL. That is 1-0.
Sweating here. Sweating.
2005 now, Matty.
WWE champion. It is. We just get it correct. Yeah, John Cena.
Correct. It is John Cena. That's 2-1 to Matty. As we go to the next one of 2007 for Michael.
2007. It was, speaking of Triple H playing some absolutely impeccable politics by trying to top the fact that Kurt Angle had worked 3 matches on a pay-per-view. Triple H did it at No Mercy 2007, all to end up losing the title to Randy Orton.
Hey, you got that right.
Well done.
2-2. Good working out there. Matty, 2008.
Right, this. Ooh, I would have nearly went wrong there. It's Jeff Hardy, I hope.
Matty, free from free. Jeff Hardy.
I was going to instinctively say Edge then, but Edge lost it at Armageddon to Jeff Hardy and Triple H, didn't he? In the Silver Threat. Yeah.
Michael, next up for you, 2009. Matty's favourite year of the Fed.
I knew it was coming, but I was dreading you asking. Right.
I think I've got it.
I kind of step on this landmine. 2009. It's got to be, and I don't know why I'm questioning myself. It's got to be Sheamus.
Is that your final answer, Michael?
Yeah.
The answer is Lobster Head. Sheamus.
Had to be.
Had to be.
I'll tell you why I panicked there in my little thought process. Because I know that his first WrestleMania was in that mid-card match against Triple H. Yeah. But obviously by then he's already lost the belt. And there was a bit of...
I was going to say, is that one where Triple H put over the young up-and-coming Michael in 2010?
That's right, yeah. Remember it well.
Matty.
Yes.
Your next one, 2010.
Fuck. So he didn't win it at that. It is Mike Mizanin.
Matty, fucking hell, on the ball here. It is The Miz.
I was there.
Yeah.
My poor wife. That was my poor wife on our honeymoon watching The Miz cash in and me trying to explain to her why she was seeing history in the making. I think she was. It was weird. We just got iPhones, and I think I saw her Googling annulment.
Oh Christ!
It worked, mate. It worked.
Yeah,
I love it.
Michael, your next one, 2011.
Oh Christ! Right. Okay, what are we doing here? 2000. I have real problems with 10, 11, and 12. Sige likes this because he has this weird. He likes the Fed period around this time, and I'm the opposite. I've got like very little love for it, but he's
that punk for Sige.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So 2011. It was 11, was it, Andy? Did you say that?
It was, 2011.
Not we skipped, yeah. So
I've got it. Let's
see, 11 is it's got to be the punker.
I was hoping, Michael, that you got this one right, being a CM Punk fan, and you are correct.
Yeah,
had to be. Survivor Series, isn't it, where he wins it properly this time? They like to pretend it was like the pipe bomb, and then he's the champion at Money in the Bank, but they ignore that entire summer where they fuck it up and like
Del Rio.
Once again, he comes in there, doesn't he? Like Triple H putting up that new fresh main event, doesn't he?
That's right, yeah.
Matty, your final one.
Oh, pressure.
2015.
Oh, fuck, you jumped a few years there, Andy. Oh, 15. Right. It is. It is this man himself. It's the OTC. Sorry, it was the big dog back then. But Michael, seriously, are you with me on this one?
Mm-hmm.
That I know it's Vince. Don't get me wrong. I'm not glossing over Vince, of course, but it was that era of like, right, I'm gonna get Roman Reigns over, and they built the show around. How good's that show though? Like that main event, and the pop he gets in that building because Sydney got booed out of it in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
is it incredible? I love that episode of Raw.
Proper like bells and whistles, Diet Steve Austin main event, that innit?
Purely, and that's what it is. Yeah,
the first mention of the Bloodline with the Usos as well.
Yeah,
back when they were just like three babyface Samoans. That was what they were called, the Bloodline, briefly, weren't they?
But Michael, the League of Nations, though, the worst group.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
God.
Barrett's still going on about that now, isn't he? Even on
yeah.
So 5-4 to Matty. Michael, your final one to take it to a tiebreaker. 2019.
Oh, Andy, man.
Another one of the worst years of the Fed, according to some.
There's like two belts, different colours here now, Michael. The belts are colours now. They're not black and gold.
Right.
It's red and blue.
No, they're not.
Treasure. I have to think myself. I've got it. I think, yeah, I have.
Well, Matty, you see, I think he was trying to throw me off there because, yes, you might say that the belts were red and blue, but I like my belts to cost £6,000 and have a stretched Fiend face on them because I believe it was the Fiend Bray Wyatt.
Can I say
so is that your final answer there, Michael?
Well, I've obviously fucked this up, haven't I? But
no, you haven't. I did say final answer earlier on, but I'm just double checking.
I'm gonna. So hang on. I'm rattled. I'm rattled.
I should have done
2019. Because I tell you why I landed on the Fiend, right? Because it was 2019 when him and Seth had the nightmare because Matt Jackson tweeted, "Tune into Dynamite, Fed's finished," you know, that kind of thing. and then he does beat Seth, and then they have the thing where Brian loses all of his hair, and that takes you to the strap match at the Rumble in 2020. And because then Goldberg beats the Fiend just before the pandemic WrestleMania, didn't it? Yeah, the Fiend. We're going with the Fiend Bray Wyatt.
In 2019, the Christmas #1 with the WWE Championship was... You're wrong, Michael. It wasn't the Fiend.
Brock Lesnar.
It was Brock Lesnar.
Oh,
he was the Universal, Michael. Universal.
Oh, the Universal shit.
Matty,
of course.
You win.
I was thinking WWE and World. Because the belt design was the same, wasn't it, when it was the Universal?
Yep. That's it.
Well, I'm going to hate myself for 6 weeks. That's Christmas ruin. Thank you very much.
Anyway, quickly, the tiebreakers.
Amazing.
1999.
Big Show.
Big Show.
Yeah, you were correct there. And 2016.
That was
AJ Styles.
I will go AJ. Yeah, loses to Cena at the Rumble.
Yeah,
both correct as well. You know, apart from the Fiend answer, you know, nearly 100% between both of you.
Nearly, but not quite, isn't it? That's the point. That's the fact. That's the. I'm raging. I'm absolutely raging myself. That stupid fucking belt. I got that blue belt in my head.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I see the one over Matty's shoulder, and it's the WWE title, and it's got the universe. How have I already brushed past the Universal Championship? Thank God for Roman Reigns. Bloody hell! Thank God for Roman Reigns.
And there we go. That's the end of the quiz and the end of this series of shite. Matty, where can we follow you?
I'm not good at this, Andy, after all the practice I've had.
Patreon.com/GRAPPL.
That's where you can catch us talking all sorts of current wrestling stuff. And obviously, what I'm a big fan of, obviously, is that Patreon, the flashbacks and the mixtapes and such like that, where we go back and dissect certain things. So, yeah. And check out our Discord as well, you know, at GRAPPL there. That's also a good to have you on there now, Michael. I will say that. Good to have you on there now. So, talk all sorts of things with all the different channels on there. But yeah, not a great salesman, unlike the next guy who's going to be an absolute fucking
Michael, where can we follow you, mate?
You can find me via What Culture. I've taken myself off Twitter to try and stay off it for good, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, if you search Michael Hamflett What Culture, you'll find all the regular What Culture wrestling podcasts. We preview and review Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and the B shows, the AEW lot. As well as that, myself and Benno do Benno and Hamflett in Your House. That's obviously chronologically covering all the In Your Houses and the stuff going on in between. We're currently up to the summer of 1997. So really, does wrestling and life get any better than that? I don't know. You can judge that for yourself on the podcast feed, Benno and Hamflett. And I'll back Matty's plug up as well. I'm a very proud GRAPPL Patreon, and as a result, they've snuck me in the back door once or twice. And myself and Matty just recently recorded Scary Fed on their Patreon feed, which is it's one of the pieces of work genuinely like I'm most proud of. We kind of covered 3 years of particularly scary WWF angles and capital M moments because basically that sort of stuff isn't as bad as a lot of wrestling Twitter would tell you. And that, along with all the many things that GRAPPL do, well worth your time and your money. So reach out if you've listened to this. By all means, reach out on the Discord because I'm enjoying it over there as well.
No, thank you for that, Michael. That was incredible show. You were like obviously phenomenal on that. But I will say as well, like on our YouTube as well. I think it's GRAPPL at YouTube. I'm terrible with things, but check out just search GRAPPL without the E on YouTube and Bretro. Me and Gareth do a show called Bretro as well. I want to start plugging that a lot because we're like 20 episodes in now. So I know Gareth's very proud of it as well. So it's a show I'm proud of as well. Just chronological Bret Hart matches, one hidden gem and one famous match each episode. So if anyone can check that out.
Well, Andy, you joined us for a 97 in your house, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yes.
Final four. Brilliant episode.
I dare say, Matty, you mentioned that kind of retro. That gives me a bit of an idea for an in your house down the road.
Well, of course, Michael. Because as I say, I've been Gareth started listening to In Your House now as well, so he's catching up on the stray bullets that Brett's been getting on these episodes. So I've clued them up. So I've got all my ammunition ready for when if that idea I'm thinking it's the same as yours will happen one day. So we'll talk, mate. We will talk.
Sean Tro.
Yeah. You and Ben might as well have done that for the first 10 episodes of Your House. I love it, don't know, Jay. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, I concur with that. Brilliant stuff. I always listen to the In Your Houses. And also, What Culture was my number one listen to podcast on my Spotify Wrapped.
Very grateful for that.
Yeah, plenty of hours of listening to Michael's voice every week. You can follow me at Oggy Part 3 on X. Follow this podcast at GCP Podcast 1. You can also follow the other podcast I do, which is Nothing and Like It at FWA Pod. We've just recently had two back-to-back interviews. One with Sean Herbert, who founded the Wrestling Channel, if you remember that from back in the day. And also we chatted to Greg the Truth Lambert about his time in the FWA and also other things. He's been Power Slam writer, podcaster, manager, promoter, done it all in wrestling. But two great interviews to go and give a listen to. And that's the end of the plugs from me. And that's the end of
Andy,
it was a shite.
Can I say, mate, I'll be back with another season or something, mate, because I'm calling it out on air here, mate. Are we coming back next year with more shite?
Well, I'll have you know, Matty, I've already put a prospective list together for shite 2026.
Oh, I'm there, mate. I'll get on the laxatives now, mate. Don't you worry.
But yeah, thank you for joining us, Matty, and as ever, Michael, always great.
Michael, honestly, say it every time, mate. You everything I dream, wish, and hope to be, mate, in the world. So I will leave you with that for your end of 2025 quote. Honestly, incredible stuff, mate. Love you.
No, sincerely, thank you both. I love coming on. I say this all the time whenever you let us sneak on any of these podcasts, and same with you, Matty, and the GRAPPL lot. Like, covering the weekly stuff all the time is obviously like our bread and butter at What Culture. But that's why I do In Your House with Benno, and that's why I love to come on and do these things, because even when it's absolute shite, it's still fun to talk about it with your mates all the same, isn't it? So it's like it provides its own sort of entertainment, even if when you're watching it, you're thinking, this is terrible. This is I love doing these. I'll come on. Even like when it ruins my Christmas with that quiz, and I'm going to be sat cursing myself for months on end, I'll always come back on if you let us.
Brilliant.
And Andy, thanks to you as well, mate, for steering the ship as ever for another year. Of course, mate. Thank you.
No problem. That's what I'm here for, hopefully. But brilliant stuff. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you next time for Shine 2026. Thank you, and bye.